How to procrastinate. Now, I don't want to brag, but I'm a champion procrastinator. Right now, I'm working, I think, on the 5th level of procrastination. Um, Watching content nukes is the 4th level. I'm getting back into it. We're on part 2 of Ryan Beard's content nuke. But I just saw some stuff going down with the PBD podcast. And I'm watching the Vanguard boys break it down for me. So they're reacting to the PBD podcast. I'm reacting to them. And then we'll get back to this guy. We'll get back to Ryan Beard in a good second here. But I just got to see what's going on. Apparently, Donald Trump pulled the chair for, like, let me pull your chair out so you can sit down, and then scooted it in for Benjamin Netanyahu. He was acting like a servant. And these guys are all going to discuss it.
Spot, but yeah, we can keep playing it.
Yeah, and what's crazy about this is you're going to see Patrick and all these guys, except for Vinny, basically try to contort what Donald Trump said as if it's actually him being tough on Israel, being tough on Netanyahu, and showing him who's boss, instead of the obvious capitulation that it is, essentially pledging U.S. support and even U.S. troops to Gaza to help, clear the rubble and clear the undetonated bombs. But yeah, let's take a look at this. It's very crazy.
Like angle, a split second. He was just being nice, you know.
Have you had your chair?
I mean, if he started wiping his face and massaging him, I'd have an issue.
I have a huge problem with people who have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Don't act like you've never pulled it. You pulled out the chair for Coleman today. Hey, sit here.
Guys, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I've never seen a guy. I've never seen a guy pull a chair out for a guy. That's all I said. I don't have a problem with it. I've never seen it before. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. You went out way. You just fucking did it. Okay, well, that's hilarious too, because every single day when we come into the office, right, I'll usually run down and get my coffee, Gavin will run to the bathroom, and then we'll get squared up and we'll be like, ready? Yeah, we're ready. And at some point in that excursion, one of us is going to make sure the other one can get by to get to their. Have I ever pulled your chair out for you on a dinner table like this? The answer is obviously no. So they're immediately moving the goalpost because they know it's weird as fuck.
It out, tiny Jesus.
But can I tell you something about that? Can I tell you something about the
stool in for you?
The pulling chair situation? For example, for me, Vinny always gets me gifts. If there's a competition on who's gotten who more gifts, Vinny's gotten me more.
There's one in
gifts.
my car right now.
No, but like, for example,
Why
when I went on,
why did my friends not give me as many fucking gifts as Patrick, Bet David, and all his friends? That is the one thing I do think is kind of cool about PBD. Even though it was cringy as fuck when he started giving Joe Rogan all those gifts and stuff, like, it genuinely does seem like he takes that seriously. He's like, if you're someone that's important to me, if you're someone that means something,
for example, more gifts.
and it's not gay. You know, he thought he could pull. Hey, you would never see him doing. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say. You'd never see him doing that for a Jew.
Pulled it
And
out.
then he goes, "Why do I got the black chair?"
Pulled it out. Let it go
Yeah, I
viral.
think he
That's
did.
it.
You pulled it out, Tiny
But no,
Jesus.
but can I tell you something about that? Can I tell you something
Push
about
your stool in for you.
the pulling chair situation? For example, you know, for me, Vinny, like Vinny always gets me gifts. If there's a competition on who's gotten who more gifts, Vinny's gotten me more.
There's one in my
gifts.
car right now.
No, but you like, for example,
Why did
when I went on
why
Joe-
did my friends not give me as many fucking gifts said as if it's actually him being tough on Israel, being tough on detonated bombs? But yeah, let's take a look at this. It's very crazy.
Like
Angle.
a split second.
Couple of
He was just being nice, you know.
Have you had your chair?
I mean,
pulled
if
off
he
on you?
started wiping his
That's all
face
different
and like massaging him, I'd have an issue.
I have a
He
huge
pulled out
problem
a chair.
with people who have a problem with it.
I don't
It's
have a problem
exactly-
with it.
Don't act like you've never pulled it. You pulled out the chair for Cuomo today. Hey, sit here.
Guys, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I've never seen a guy pull a chair out for a guy. That's all I said. I don't have a problem with it. It just I've never seen it before.
You did it
Sorry.
for Cuomo today.
No, I didn't. I
you
moved
did.
it out of the way.
Yeah, you did.
You just fucking
Yeah,
did
you
it.
moved
Pulled
it
it
for
out.
Cuomo today.
Okay.
And that's hilarious too, because every single day when we come into the office, right, you know, I'll usually run down and get my coffee. Gavin will run to the bathroom, and then we'll get squared up and we'll be like, ready? Yeah, we're ready. And at some point in that excursion, one of us is going to make sure the other one can get by to get to their fucking spot, right? Because we both sit in the same spot every day. But when I asked Gavin, hey, have I ever pulled your chair out for you at a dinner table like this? The answer is obviously no. So they're immediately moving the goalpost because they know it's weird as fuck.
Yeah, he says he pulled out your chair. You pulled out Cuomo's chair. I think that was just Italian on Italian solidarity. 'Cause I think Vinny's also Italian, so he's like, you know, game recognized game.
Yeah, that's kind of like how two Italian men can kiss each other and it's not gay. You know, he thought he could pull. Hey, you would never see him doing. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say. You'd never see him doing that for a Jew.
pulled it
And
out.
then he goes, "Why do I got the black chair?"
Pulled it out. Let it go
Yeah, I
viral.
think he
That's
did.
it.
You pulled it out, Tiny
But no,
Jesus.
but
I don't know Chris Cuomo's angle. He's like, I have a problem with people that have a problem with it. Like, he's like really posturing.
But can I tell you something about that? Can I tell you something
Push
about
your stool in for you.
the pulling?
Patrick Bet David, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Can I ask you this? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Hey, I want to tell you something. Let me tell you something. And then he'll just like say fucking nothing. Like he doesn't even know what he's about to say.
Chair situation. For example, you know, for me, Vinny, like Vinny always gets me gifts. If there's a competition on who's gotten who more gifts, Vinny's gotten me more.
There's one in my car.
What the fuck does he ever talk about? He's such a PBD is so fucking irritating.
All right now.
No, but you like, for example,
Why did
when I went on
why
Joe-
did my friends not give me as many fucking gifts as Patrick, Bet David, and all of his friends? That is the one thing I do think is kind of cool about PBD. Even though it was cringy as fuck when he started giving Joe Rogan all those gifts and stuff, like it genuinely does seem like he takes that seriously. He's like, if you're someone that's important to me, if you're someone that means something to me, like I'm gonna go out of my way to get you a really nice gift.
Bro.
And that is a wholesome quality.
It's his love language. Giving gifts is his love language.
Like I don't care who you are.
Bro, you ever see Goodfellas? There's this guy, Paulie, where you start greasing the palms real early on, and that's how you build the mafia, right? That's La Cosa Nostra. That's taking care of people, right? You ever watch Godfather 2? What Robert De Niro do when he showed up to the neighborhood? He said, hey, I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry. You got a roof over your head? God, I'm going to make sure you keep the lights on. That's right, buddy. But be there when I ask you for a fucking favor. And that's the vibe I get from PBD. I agree. It's nice to give your homies gifts. Gavin has gotten me gifts before. I've gotten Gavin gifts before, right? Like
Nothing as nice as this motherfucker.
No, nothing
gets
as
his-
nice as this motherfucker. You need to step your game up. Honestly, Gavin needs to be the change he wants in the world. You know, a Gucci sweater, you know, some nice cologne from across the ocean. You know, I'll be waiting. You know, I'm excited to see what I unwrap on air. You know,
Yeah, actually though, I do. If you're cool with it, I think we should like fast forward a little bit, probably to around like 10 or 11
Sure.
minutes, because that's when the exchange really gets pretty good, and Vinny kind of
Vinny,
gets in there.
dude, look at this. Look at this. This is anti-Italian American discrimination, guys. What woke button? You can't make the fettuccine fingers at Fredo. That's racist.
It could be what Dubai is. It could be what literal Tel Aviv is. If you've ever been to Tel Aviv, It is literal paradise. It's like if New York.
Bro thinks Tel Aviv is in Sicily. He's like, in Tel Aviv, I'm making a spaghetti.
And by the way, what he's saying is like, I think what this guy said is essentially that, you know, what Trump said about the plan to rebuild Gaza, you know, America kind of take over Gaza and rebuild. He was like, it sounds crazy, but it is the best idea that's been put on the table because, like, you know, from the river to the sea isn't going to happen. So, you know, maybe Trump is actually onto something here, even though it sounds crazy. He's the only one that actually has a feasible, workable idea. That's what he's in the middle of talking about that Vinny's going to respond to.
York met Miami on the beach. It's incredible. Gaza could be that, but instead, Hamas and the Palestinians have squandered billions and billions and billions of dollars by building down instead of building up. Their tunnel infrastructure is bigger than the New York tunnel system. Are you kidding me? So they
I like how MAGA immediately runs back to like insane Zionist talking points as soon as Donald Trump is president. They're all like, oh yeah, you know, like Donald Trump's going to negotiate a deal that's great for everyone on all sides. And immediately just back to dogged Zionism stuff that you could have heard immediately on CNN in the days after October 7th.
they've taken billions of dollars that have been given to them and they built basically a terror network. So, and it's the same vicious cycle. They start a war, they lose a war, they cry foul, they sacrifice their martyrs, and they get, they wait a few years and then they do it all over again. And then the last point is this: the Jordanians don't want them. The Egyptians don't want them. They forget that Egypt has a border right next to them. They're not taking them in. The Lebanese don't want them. The
Well, they
Syrians don't want
have
them.
millions and
anyone take
millions
them
of
in?
Palestinians
It's 'cause they don't want the
already. So do
jihadists coming into their
Israelis.
country.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well,
There have been
Yeah, that's why these people don't want to be ethnically cleansed from their homeland.
problems with the population.
People don't forget
Vinny.
that there's 2 million Palestinian Arabs that live in Israel. Say that again. What do you mean they live in Israel? Yeah, they're Israeli citizens.
Yeah,
Every single country in
also those are all the people that are like viciously fucking exploited and like you have to build all the buildings and are basically just like the lower class, which is like the, you know, slave labor essentially for Israeli society.
And they also don't have that like birthright thing. Like I from what I understand, their children aren't automatically citizens. They have to like reapply or something. I don't know. I've heard that they lack one of the basic rights that the Jewish folks in Israel get.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, those are not people with equal rights within the borders of Israel who can vote and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
That'd be like going to Jackson, Mississippi in the Jim Crow South and be like, these people are American citizens. There's nothing wrong here. There's no discrimination. There's no malpractice happening here. Oh, you know, look at this. These are as American as anybody else. You know, look at the Constitution. All men are created equal. That's the doctrine of the country. What are you talking about? And of course, the live reality is an apartheid state.
in the Middle East has basically kicked out all the Jews and they've moved to Israel. But Israel has absorbed 2 million Arabs. So why don't the other Arab countries take in the Palestinians? Unfortunately, is because no one wants them.
Vinny.
It's a no-win. Listen, no-win situation, plain and simple. The only problem is the non-jihad terrorists, just the regular Palestinians that had to leave because Gaza was going to be leveled, and we knew it was coming. What are they going to come back to? Are they going to be able to come back to their home? Meaning, hold on, there's no more Hamas. Everybody's gone. The leadership has changed. Do I get to come back to my house that was leveled? I lost my son. I lost my daughter. Me and my wife are still here. Can I come back? If they're going to rebuild and make a high-rise Trump Tower, can we get an apartment in there? Because my home was here. That's the only problem that I'm saying is, and I get it. People are like, they won't take them and they won't take them. Wait a minute. That's their home. They shouldn't have, nobody should have to take them. They should be.
And this is literally the only time in.
Gotta give it up to Vinny. I mean, that guy, he has had some of the most ridiculous takes I've ever heard in my life. I mean, he's the clown of one of the clowniest podcasts. But holy shit, Vinny. I mean, it's really nice to hear a little bit of sense talked in, you know, to a bunch of people who are listening, a bunch of idiots who are listening. I'm glad it's from him because he's someone they're all respecting and listening to, you know? This is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not endorsing anything else about Vinny. I'm just saying this is interesting. He's saying real stuff.
They shouldn't have nobody
And,
should have to take him. They should be.
And this is literally the only time in the entire conversation that the humanity of the Palestinian individuals actually reconciled or talked about it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's we're so used to these people just like completely overlooking humanity of Palestinians. That's just in every, from liberal to conservative, all the discourse. Nobody talks with any recognition of the humanity of them. And just that little bit saying like, what do you mean they'd have to take them? That's their home. They shouldn't have to be taken anywhere. Fucking based.
All. It's crazy. They're just, talking about all this politics and real estate and stuff. And this guy's like, wait, these are like people's lives and homes we're talking about just developing on top of, like building Trump towers, building seaside hotels and condos. Like, is no one going to address the elephant in the room until this guy does at a late stage in the conversation? It's wild.
Yeah, it's true that when you're relying on this guy Vinny to be the moral compass in the
Enlightened one.
conversation, it is totally unfathomable. Now, if I were fly on the wall, I'd be hoping that Vinny would then, go on a based rant to talk about how if you're going to justify the leveling of Gaza because of the actions of Hamas, then you'd have to be willing to let some other omnipresent superpower come in and level America because of the malpractice and the evil that our own military has done. If you're going to hold all of the civilians responsible for the actions of an individual group, of the few, of the minority, or even the fucking government, because I sure shit don't want to be held responsible for the things that my government does with the supposed support of the American people, which in reality none of us actually support, right? By that logic, then we should be able to have Manhattan leveled as punishment, right? Oh, can't trust them to do that. Got to level Los Angeles. Got to level Kansas City, Chicago, Oakland.
Not
right?
KC.
Yeah, not KC. KC's base. We would survive. We put the Iron Dome over Kansas City so we can keep winning Super Bowls. But you guys see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
If they were to have that caustic attitude that they have towards the people of Palestine, towards the people of the United States, they wouldn't like the outcome so much.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's just ridiculous, this line that like, oh, Jordan doesn't want them, Egypt doesn't want them, like, oh, they must be just bad folks.
It's just such a weird way of framing it too. Sometimes I think it's interesting to think about the kind of scale, and I think it's something that it's not really ever easy to think about or hold in your head, are like the scale and the sheer numbers and the logistics of anything, right? So at least in my mind, as a younger person, when they say, if they said like 250,000 people fled Syria from this year to this year, like in my head, I'm just imagining like a fucking, like just a big map. I got a map in my head, and like these people just like zoop, 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 zooming out of one country all in one big line, like, or whatever. So like wherever they're at, if they're in Syria, they're like, and if they're like, oh, well, some went to Egypt and some went to Turkey, some went to Iraq. I'm just imagining these like lines of like just going there, right? And especially if you get really into like just staring at maps and trying to do geopolitics while looking at a map, I think it's a really fucked up, toxic way of just like thinking about the land and the places and the spaces, right? When you look at a map from this scale, you're just like, that tiny little country? Oh, that's a teeny tiny little country here. What is this little teeny country? But like, if you actually like went there, you get on the ground, you're like, okay, I guess I'm in a teeny tiny country, but you can't really tell that from here. I mean, even without the political borders, even a small island, sometimes you get down close to it. You're like, okay, this is a big ass place with big ass mountains. It's like a real ass huge place that goes on and on and on and on, where you could walk for days and days and days and days and still be in the same region, right? It's like every teeny little spot on this earth, you know, it's a long way, and it's like if there's mountains, if there's natural shit in the way, you know, these could be like so hard or impossible to traverse if you didn't have like vehicles and stuff. And a lot of times through places like this, there's often very limited roads, right? You got little roads here, little paths there. But there's all kinds of shit all over the earth. Like, you know, you got like rivers and climates and mountains and all this bullshit, right? It's just everywhere. And the scale is so much bigger, I think, than we imagine. If you look at it like this, it's all scaled out. You're like, oh, by the way, this map is backwards, isn't it? For you. I'm looking at it forwards, but I'm noticing that it looks like it's backwards. Boop. Not that it mattered, because again, these are all just, I'm not worried about the political borders right now, but yeah. So thinking about stuff like, oh, when a shitload of people are moving to a place, it definitely is not going to just look like a single line arcing across the map and going, or even just sliding through what looks like the closest thing, right? So, for example, the old trope of like, oh, all they have to do is just hop that border. The border's wide open. Look at that. Mexico, U.S. Look, it's so easy. They just walk over that border and they're right there. Right there. Where are they? Almost to Las Cruces, maybe? Right? So if you're going to cross this border and you're in a car, there's probably tons of different border crossing places, but there's all these different border towns. Nogales, Juarez, Mexicali, and of course, Tijuana. Is that Tijuana? And there's all kinds of people who drive across these borders every day. They commute there. They commute back and forth. For example, there are Mexican folks who live here, this border town. Some of them are professionals. Some of them are cooks. Whatever, all kinds of different jobs, and they work in Tucson. They literally just drive across the border, go to work. Sometimes they hang out. You know, they might go clubbing or something on the weekends with their friends. And then you just go back home to Nogales. There's all kinds of towns like this, right? So kinds of people, and like there's people who go back and forth. They have family, work, school on either side of this line, right? It's all over the place. And this is such a big desert. Like if you were down here, I'm curious if there's any street view. Kind of off-road. Okay, look at. So they plop down into the desert here. And let's we don't have a chat. There's no Indian here. So let's move this up here like that. All right, here we are. You just hop right across the border. It's so easy. So, deserts are incredibly difficult to traverse. You need a vehicle. You know, without a reliable automobile, you're looking at days and days of walking. You've got incredibly hot sun beating you down in the daytime, and then bitterly cold, deathly cold at night. And this is not just flat desert. This is mountainous desert. Fucking pricklies and stickies and all kinds of shit. But, you know, it's also populated. Like, there's people around here, but they're spread wide apart, right? I doubt many of these are pretty walkable cities. Like, this is rural country town, and it's like on both sides of this line here, the folk aren't too different. Obviously, there's some, you know, there's political lines, so there's a lot of some difference, but like the people aren't really all that different from each other. And you see like the weird shape of the border here. You know, it's like the way political borders work, it's just so grotesque. Like you slip in here and there's nothing bordering here. There's no reason for this line to be here like that. Right? They're all gonna come in and flood. I remember people would talk about building the wall and they'd say, your country needs a wall just like your house needs a door. And like, how absurd is it to be like, you see this like 2,000 miles worth of like mountainous desert with communities of people sprinkled all throughout, on here, there, and everywhere all throughout here, that are all like have been here for generations. It's like, no, we just cut this fucking line right in the middle of all of it. And we're going to declare that this is now our door. Because this is like some convenient way to like just kind of trot into the USA. Right? You cross this line, what the fuck are you going to do after that? I mean, you have to do it in a city. There's absolutely nothing you can do to like do anything in America if you don't get your ass to a city. Some kind of settlement or city. So you're going to have to take a road. So you're going to be in a vehicle. So you're going to go through a crossing like this, right? And the scale at which this can happen, and does happen, imagine a few people just kind of sneaking over in a truck here, and this and that there, and you know, it's not going to be big numbers of people. There's so many risks. It's so difficult, right? Now, the other thing is it's not actually illegal to just cross this line and get into America. There's a law that says you get to declare or plead for asylum, right? If you're found here, you can do that. There's all kinds of like formalities and paperwork and stuff that are like extra laws added in as to like you have to do this or get this or else you're not allowed to do this or do that, right? certain kinds of visas or whatever. They have to dole out very special and specific permission for anyone to come anywhere over this line and do anything. All right. So it's really just something to just keep in mind is the gargantuan scale of these networks of people, the numbers of people. Think about 1 million people. You could never, I don't think you could ever meet 1 million people in your life. Even if you're just meeting people every single day. Could we do that? Could we crunch those numbers? All right. Let's say you meet. Oh God, what would you do? You could meet, say what counts as meeting? If you just say hi, you shake their hand, they tell you their name, they tell you a few things about you. We talk for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's say you talk to each person for, we'll call it 5 minutes. You have a 5-minute conversation. So let's say you work 8 hours a day. How many minutes is that? Times 60. So 480 minutes. Divide that by, what were we saying? 10 minutes per... Or should we do 5 minutes? So we could either meet with 48 people a day. Meet 48 people a day. If it's 5 minutes, we could bump that up. We could double that. But how long would that take? How many working days do you do per year? You know, what is it? It's okay. Let's just say you work 365 days a year. So 8. No, not 8. What is it? 48. Let's call it 50. You meet 50 people a day. 365 days. In 1 year, you would meet 18,250 people. Okay, what if you did that for 30 years? You'd be halfway, over halfway to meeting a million people. So if you double that, it would take you 60 years of literally 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, no holidays, no breaks, of just 8 hours straight of 5-minute conversations with brand new people every single day. You wouldn't remember anybody. But after 60 years, so you'd start, you got to start young. Start when you're 20 years old. And then you finish when you're about 80 years old or shortly before your 80th birthday, because you don't need to meet that last 95,000 people. What would it be if we did 1 million? What would be the thing we're dividing by? Oh, yeah. 18,250. $54 years. 54.8 years. So this would be your full-time full-time job. So if we cut the conversations down to like, if we kept it at an average of 2 minutes or something, we might be able to turn it into slightly more manageable goal. I mean, could you say you met somebody? I mean, yeah, if they say their name and they look you in the eye and you're like, hi, and you chat for a couple minutes or so, oh man, you're just going to be chatting forever. Your voice would get all tired out. You'd need a break. You'd need some holidays. We'd have to cut it to 2 minutes and just add in some weekends and holidays and then still shoot for like the 54 years or something. But that's 50 people a day. That's crazy. Meet 50 new people every single day. But that's what it would take to even meet 1 million people. Imagine, so like you could meet 1 million people, just meet people all day long for 60 years, do nothing but meet people, and all of them could be, well, I mean, if you're just in a city, you're going to get a big mix of all kinds of demographics and people, right? But just by sheer numbers, you could just meet all teenagers or all black men or all Asian women, or like you could probably, because just the sheer number of people that are in the U.S., there's 350, 400 something million people just in the U.S. for instance, plus what's the population of Mexico and Canada? And why stop at Mexico? South America. So, okay, Mexico's about 128 million. Brazil, 216 million. Let's do North and South America all together. Combined population of both North and South America is about 1.03 billion. North, we got 550. South got 480. With about half of that being Brazil. So, the numbers are astonishing. If we did this, not only could we never meet most of the people, we would have to live literally 1,000 lifetimes of 8 hours a day, having 2-minute conversations with a brand new person over and over and over and over and over. And then, retiring, dying, getting reincarnated, and doing it all over again 1,000 times. And then you'll have met everyone in the Americas. You'd have never seen a single European or Asian or Australian or African unless they were here on the day that they had their scheduled meeting with you. Can you imagine that? You live 1,000 lifetimes and you meet more people than anyone ever does, and you could miss whole continents of people. The scale is astounding, astonishing. Like, I used to be surprised when I learned about new countries that I didn't know existed. But I'm not even surprised anymore. It still keeps happening. No matter how much I stare at a globe and play around and look at every country and do everything, it's just like, just always learn something. Because it's just astonishingly big. And I'm used to looking at it through with all these political lines on them. It'd be nice if it, I can turn the things off or whatever, but it, it's also helpful just to keep track of names and stuff. But let's turn these labels off. I just hate labels. Me and this planet kind of like have this no labels thing. What a planet. All right. Let's get back into this.
Want him, so they must be bad.
That was like level 7 procrastination.
Hombres or whatever. Like,
now back down to level 6. And we will slowly descend before we start ascending into higher levels of procrastination. So, first things first, let's fix our presentation here. Oh, that's nice. And then Firefox. You are my Firefox. You are fire. You are a fox. I don't know why they call you that.
That would be like if America or if our government decided to carry out like a genocide of West Virginians or something, or like an ethnic cleansing, and then people just expected like Mexico to take all those, West Virginians or something, right? Like Mexico would be like, what the fuck? This isn't our problem. Like we don't have to take these people. What the fuck are you talking about? It's not just our responsibility. So it's pretty crazy that that's even something that's, again, being kind of just uncritically said or talked about. Jordan doesn't want them.
Yeah.
Egypt doesn't want them. What does that say about these people?
Right. And what the fuck? Like, they don't want to leave. Nobody mentions that. Like, oh, they don't want to leave. They want to live in Palestine, just like their ancestors did, right? If somebody came to Kansas City and said, hey, Gavin and Zach, you got to get the fuck out of here, we'd be like, no. This is where we fucking live. This is the patch of dirt that we call home, and we're not fucking going anywhere,
And we don't even consider this a holy land like they do. Like, I feel like it's 10 times or 100 times more significant. Like, I feel like we could theoretically, move to Denver or something. Like, I wouldn't be all that heartbroken if someone was like, hey, I'll set you guys up in a new studio in Denver. It'll be nice, furnished, paid for. I'd be like, okay, you could convince me. But that's because we don't have this deep, sacred, ancestral, religious connection to the land that the people of Palestine do. Again, making it so much. I think it was Ryan Grimm who said, like, it's not just like moving someone from Ohio to Florida. It's a lot more significant. These people have much more of a concept of tradition, and that's kind of lost. I feel like a lot of Americans, they don't have that sort of connection to their land, to our land, this land. It's not our land. It was fucking stolen. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's a great point, actually. Very well put. I think it shows the shallowness of our own culture. I think it shows the hollowness of, capitalism and the fact that we're not prioritizing community. We're not prioritizing tradition.
All right. I fucking hate Destiny. He's awful. And I don't know anything about the children he hurt. And I don't think this is going to get any better. I don't know how it can get worse. But I guess we're going to see. This is a brutal, brutal content nuke. He could have ended it right here. It could have been a 30-minute video. And it's fucking brutal. I wouldn't say, "Oh my God, stop. He's already down." Absolutely not. This is the kind of guy that I would just be laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing as Ryan Beard just kicks kicks and kicks while Destiny is down. I want to see it on a loop. I want to see a perfectly looped GIF of this content nuke just exploding and then re-exploding again and again in Destiny's stupid fucking face. And I'm only a third of the way through the video. Let's go.
For yourself. We'll get back to Destiny treating women like shit a little bit later on, but now let's pivot to Destiny harming children. For some strange reason, a lot of people like to label Destiny here a pedophile. So in the next section, we'll get to the bottom of whether or not Mr. Bunnell here really is a certified EDP 445. Is Destiny really a pedo, or are these just false, slanderous allegations meant to try to dethrone the debate bro king? Let's find out. In 2012, when Destiny was 23, he shared in a group chat with a couple of his friends the messages, "You want to see the sickest shit in the world? So many fangirls. I had one that was 15. She wanted to meet and hook up. Dude, she's 15, what the fuck? But she sent me pictures that made it so hard to say no." Then Destiny linked a picture of this girl in a bikini in the chat and said, "Girl on the left, so hard to say no. Gonna get arrested one of these MLGs, man." So in these logs, when Destiny was 23, he said that it was really hard to turn down hooking up with this 15-year-old because she looked so good in this picture of her in a bikini. He then shared this lewd image of a child with his friends and said that he's gonna get arrested someday. Well, like I said, a woman just filed a police report against Destiny, so we'll just have to wait and see.
That is crime, I guess, if they want to do it. I mean, crimes are only crimes if the state decides to press charges on them. I hope they throw the fucking book at him. Book him, Lou.
See if his prediction comes true. A couple years later in 2015, when Destiny was 26, he shared in his chat, "I would fuck the shit out of that 15-year-old. What the fuck? There's no way that chick is 15. So now we've seen two separate occasions where Destiny says that he's attracted to 15-year-olds. Ironically, this conversation where he's sharing a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini with his friends is the exact same conversation where he also shared that other woman's nudes without her consent. Sharing non-consensual nudes and sharing a picture of a child in a bikini in one conversation? What a certified Destiny moment. This is what we in the business call a Diddy-stiny party. A common defense that Destiny fans will give when he says that he wants to have sex with children is that he's just joking. For example, these tweets where he says, "You were hot at 10? Any pics? Check DMs. Jesus, I've never wanted to bend someone over the hood of their little tyke so bad." I do
What the
think
fuck?
these tweets are jokes.
Yeah, obviously it's a joke, but that's not... That's a joke you make about an adult or something. Oh my god. Did he say... He didn't say go back in time and as a child. No, it's current. I've never wanted... Good God. Good God. You were hot at 10? Check DMs. Oh. She's called Big Titty Goth F9. That's funny. The omni-liberal. I hate him. I hate everything about him. I hate his fucking Twitter handle.
DMs. Jesus, eats our jokes, very strange jokes, but I don't think that him saying he wanted to hook up with this 15-year-old was a joke. You know that classic prank where you send your friends pictures of kids in bikinis and say how hot you find them as a joke? And to help prove that this wasn't a joke, here are some clips of Destiny doubling down on his attraction to this 15-year-old in a debate with someone named Mr. Medicare.
Course of this chat log, I was talking with a bunch of other esports guys, and we were basically talking about how crazy the fucking jailbait is in the gaming communities. It's ridiculous. I think I said something along the lines of like, there are 15-year-old chicks that are like,
Sorry, I got distracted by something. Other esports guys. Is he an esports guy? Is that his, like, thing that he... Because, like, I don't... You never know with these... It's been so long since the YouTube era and the streaming era started that decades have gone by. And, like, a lot of people aren't doing the same shit that they were when they got famous. Is he like a pro gamer? If so, what does he do? What does he play? Because I noticed in a lot of videos he's just lazily like playing a video game while spouting nonsense and like owning someone. I'm just curious, what does he actually play? Oh, there's a video game called Destiny. What does he play? StarCraft 2? Oh, this is him. Esports. Stephen Kenneth Bonell II. He's 36. 425 days. Okay. I don't know any of this stuff. He plays StarCraft 2. What device does Destiny use? We have no information on the Destiny gears. What the fuck is StarCraft 2? I ain't never heard of no StarCraft. Is this, is it like Warcraft? Is it like Minecraft? Is it like Arts and Crafts? Okay. It looks a bit like a tower defense game. I think that'd be really funny if it was just a tower defense game and he's like, I'm an expert at this fucking tower defense game. I go into infinite thing. StarCraft 2 greatest games of the year. Incredible StarCraft 2 match. I don't know anything about StarCraft. If I watched a match, maybe I could learn a little something about it. But I'm not into like grown-up video games like these. I'll play Mario Rabbids or something like that if I want to try to do strategy. I'll keep it offline. Thank you very much. So he is an esports athlete. He is a specialist. How good is he at it? How does this compare to his peers? There doesn't seem to be any ranking. I mean, 400 days doesn't kind of seem like a lot. But who knows?
hot as fuck that will like try to send you pictures to like fuck you at events and shit, and it's like you have to be really careful when you navigate that.
So what is the admitting to jerking off to 15-year-olds then? What is that in relation to?
I never admitted to jerking off. I think I just said like this. I think the log is something like this 15-year-old chick was trying to send me, or was sending me pictures of herself, and she was hot as fuck. It's like really hard to like turn down some of these people. I think.
Wait,
I said
how old was she?
She said she was 15.
So you did get pictures from a 15-year-old?
Not nudes though. Sorry, I should specify. I think a couple pics of her like at the beach or some shit. But
In swimwear?
Yeah. Yeah,
so you're getting swimwear pics for 15-year-olds?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. This shit is fucking crazy. Shit is fuck.
So, in these clips, he says that some 15-year-olds are hot as fuck, and he admits to sharing a picture of this 15-year-old in a bikini to his friends. So, is Destiny a pedophile? Well, he admitted that he finds some 15-year-olds hot as fuck, and he sent his friends a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini because he found her so attractive. A lot of arguments with Destiny about pedophilia end up getting wrapped up in semantic debates about labels instead of focusing on the facts of the matter. If you call Destiny a pedo for being attracted to a 15-year-old, he'll launch into a tirade about how, pedophilia is the attraction to prepubescent children and 15-year-olds are post-pubescent. So therefore, by calling me a pedo, you have slandered me. So then you go, okay, I guess you're not a pedophile, you're an ephebephile because ephebophilia is the attraction to teenagers aged 15 to 19. So then he'll go, no, ephebophilia is the primary attraction to mid to late adolescents. I'm mostly attracted to adults. I'm just a little bit attracted to children.
There are 15-year-old chicks that are like hot as fuck.
So therefore, I am not an ephebophile and you have slandered me yet again. Also, there's nothing inherently wrong with ephebophilia because 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds fall under the category of ephebophilia, and there's nothing wrong with being attracted to adults, so your normative position condemning ephebophilia in its entirety is already a flawed premise. And even if I was a pedophile, there's...
This is getting out of control. Why is there... I've never heard a ephebophile before. So, like, it seems like a weird, like, thing that, by definition, is either legal or illegal. Or is it that just because the laws are what they are, but ephebophilia is like something that was defined independent of the... I don't know. I don't understand this.
There's nothing wrong with being attracted to children. It's only bad if you act on that attraction. So therefore, you have slandered me in countless ways, and my community will now harass you for years. See how you've now had an exhausting 20-minute debate about labels instead of focusing on the fact that Destiny admitted to being attracted to some children and admitted to acting on that attraction by sending a picture of a child in a bikini to his friends? This is the debate bro way. Crush your opponent through pedantic arguments about semantics so you never have to actually take accountability for your actions. As far as we know, I don't think Destiny falls under the clinical definition of pedophile, but the colloquial definition of pedophile is someone who is attracted to children, and Destiny is at least somewhat attracted to children.
There are some 15, 16-year-old chicks that like look pretty fucking hot. Like I can't help that. Like some people mature fucking older.
Destiny
seems to think that like the reason it's bad is like the like unnaturalness of the physical connection, and that's definitely one aspect of it, but the whole other side is like the abuse and position of power over someone who's not mentally mature. The thing that he was fucking bitching about people like maybe you shouldn't engage in sex. I'm so much... Oh my god, dude. Because remember, in our last stream, we went through part 1, and Destiny was talking shit to rape survivors, telling them that they should have did this or should have did that, and that they're not mentally mature enough to engage in sex. And this dude's fucking grooming 15-year-olds. Like, oh, it's not technically pedophilia because she's post-puberty? Like, that's fucking gross. It's weird.
Another streamer who got exposed for having sex with a 14-year-old by saying, even if he did bang a 14-year-old, no, that's not what pedophile means. Go look it up. Seriously, if you don't understand the difference between being attracted to someone that...
just the whole like, baba, it doesn't meet the definition. Like holding up definitions of words and be like, look it up, is so fucking stupid because you're just sidestepping the actual problem, which is this behavior towards 15-year-olds, and being like, but it's not pedophilia. Like, it's just moving the goalpost to just this one thing that it's not. It's like, okay, you can do anything you want as long as it's not racist. And then you do something totally fucking bigoted that isn't about race. And they're like, but it's not racist. How could it possibly be racist? And it's like, well, okay, maybe it's not racist, but it still sucks and it's still shitty, and it's a different form of bigotry, you know? So it's like this, it's not pedophilia. It's okay, well, it's that other one. It's that other philia thing where it's still bad. Because this is shitty. It's like just having to always be on the line, riding the line. I'm on this side of the line technically, so you're slandering. That's fucked. And who is this? This was just one of his fans that was writing this, or no, that's Destiny. But it says even if he did. Okay, Destiny's the OP. Is this a comment? Even if he did bang... No, that's not what pedophilia is. Go look it up. Edit. Did someone link Destiny? Time to cry, sirs. Seriously, if you don't understand the difference between being attracted to someone that happens to be young and being attracted to someone because they are young, you have absolutely no business whatsoever commenting on the issue, period. It makes you look uneducated. Fuck you. Fuck you. Nobody's mad because you're like attracted to someone, whether it's because this or if they also just happen to be this. If this is that they are children, it's again moving the goalposts. Nobody's mad that you're attracted to them. You could just be like that and just never open your mouth and never act on it. Just like privately in your head, do whatever the fuck you want. They're mad that you're actually like predator. Being a predator, victimizing these freaking children. And this is just a fan who's standing for him. Even if he did. So it's like, he's trying to say he didn't do that, but even if he did, it's not a big deal. And if it is a big deal, it was your fault. You have absolutely no business whatsoever commenting on the issue. I mean, this is so irrelevant to the issue of being attracted to someone that happens to be young versus being attracted to someone because they are young. How fucking stupid is that? I gotta think about how stupid it is. Oh, God. It's just so stupid. I can't think of like a stupider parallel. I mean, I'm attracted to someone that just happens to be young. I'm not attracted to the young person. I'm attracted to this person who happens to be young. Like, that's what it means to be attracted to someone. you can't separate the fact that they are young versus that they happen to be young. You can't just like, obviously, it's so fucking stupid. It's so bad. I imagine the people who were like in this flame war were just like, what the fuck? I mean, seriously, if you don't understand the difference, seriously, if you don't understand the problem that being attracted to a young person doesn't fucking matter what you can privately justify your reasoning as in your mind, the result is the same exact thing to the outside public and to your victim, then you have absolutely no business whatsoever commenting on the issue, period. It makes you look like a dick fuck. What a stupid fucking dick fuck. I don't even know who this is. If this was you, fuck out of here with this shit. Delete your account. Go touch grass. But don't touch anyone's ass. You must be, what's that thing when the monks celibate? You have to be celibate forever. That's your punishment. This person may never touch flesh again. I'm sentencing you to that. And you're getting off easy. Okay? Fuck off out of here or I'll do something worse.
Go look it up. Seriously, if you don't understand the difference between being attracted to someone that happens to be
That is dog shit of an argument.
young and being attracted to someone because they are young, you have absolutely no business whatsoever commenting on the issue, period. It makes you look uneducated. I really want to see someone use this argument in court.
Me too. Okay, he's going to give us a good singer of like using this argument. I kind of thought of one where it's like, why are you taking pictures of me in the bathroom with a secret camera? I didn't take pictures of you because you were in the bathroom. I took pictures of you and you happened to be in the bathroom. But it wasn't because you were in the bathroom. That's how stupid that is. Boom! Got his ass.
Your Honor, I didn't have sex with that baby because I'm attracted to babies.
Okay, he just went right on the nose for it with it. He just said baby. Oh, man, Ryan. Oh, boy. He goes for it. You just went for it. Oh, boy, Ryan.
Babies. I had sex with that baby because it just so happened to be a really hot baby. Most babies are not hot, but every once in a while, one of those extra special babies rolls their stroller on past my goon cave, and I just can't help myself. But this does not make me a pedophile. You look really uneducated right now. You know what, Destiny? You can feel free to have your pedantic definition of pedophile that only applies to being specifically attracted to prepubescent children because of the fact that they are prepubescent, and I can say that I think you are a freak for saying as a 26-year-old that some 15-year-olds are hot as fuck, and for as a 23-year-old sharing around a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini. Deal? The next child-related Destiny incident is when him and his friends, the Bro Squad, watched an 8-year-old boy shake his penis for them on a live stream.
What?
I shouldn't tell this because I'm gonna get fucking arrested.
What?
Or Child Protective Services. I used to be part.
I fucking hate this dude. His fucking attitude, his like sneering little, his face, his voice. Oh, this dude is the creep of all creeps. I'm so glad I never like got into his streams or anything. I don't think I could have. Because he's just fucking irritating. And he plays video games that I have absolutely no concept of what they are. So I don't give a fuck. And I'm so glad. Oh, God. He is just disgusting in every way. And here he's just like laughing and smirking. Oh, my God. I'm probably going to get arrested for this. And when was this? Decades ago? He should have been arrested for it. They should have busted his fucking... What? Was anyone swatting him And then like right, what if they swatted him right as he was like in one of these stories, and then like the SWAT team was like, "Wait, hey, we just got a call in from the dispatch. They're listening to your stream. You put your hands behind your back." I hate him so much. I hate his stupid face.
This horrible thing called the Bro Squad. Okay. Fucking me, if you remember that fucking Cheeks bitch, and fucking a couple other people that have never been on my stream before, were part of the Bro Squad. And what we would do is we would go around Justin TV streams, trolling the shit out of these people. And we went around from fucking channel to channel, like fucking around. Like it was just horrible shit. We went to this channel with this fucking like, this kid was like 8 years old. And
He is the, just like the lowest dregs of society, like the internet trolls who were doing all the fucking most vile bullshit under anonymity. I'm sure many of them are elected officials in the US government. One of them is this fucking guy. This guy right here. Like, that's the face behind that disgusting 4chan like sludge, right? This is just one of them. He's that guy. That's the guy behind the fuck you effing blah effing. I was gonna say fucking F yourself, okay? Get the fuck off and F off. Fuck over already. Oh, God, I hate him.
he was fucking broing out with everybody in this chat. And for whatever fucking reason, this kid decides to fucking take his pants off and fucking wiggle his 8-year-old dick on stream. I can't even believe it. Oh my fucking God. It was like, I didn't even know, like, we were on Skype, we were like, holy shit. Like,
we were on Skype? What is he? I don't understand what the context was. It's a kid on stream?
I can't even believe it. Oh my fucking God. It was like, I didn't even know, like, we were on Skype, we were like, holy shit. Like, we had to do like a double take because we didn't even fucking know, like, what the fuck was on, like, we were looking at like an 8-year-old dick, like, on the fucking screen. And his fucking brother, we called him Captain Push-Ups, would like come in the room. And this guy was like fucking 14 years old. He had his shirt off and he was like this, like watching this stream the entire time and shit. Oh my God.
As far as
What the fuck? I don't even want to go back and try to figure out what... I don't even care.
what Destiny says in this clip, they didn't ask the child to pull his pants down, but I still think it's very bad that him and his bro squad didn't immediately click off of this live stream the second
He and his bro squad. You take bro squad away and it's he didn't. You don't say him didn't. So it's he and his bro squad didn't. Whatever you're going to say. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
that him and his bro squad
Him and his bro squad
didn't immediately
didn't. Now you might say him and his bro squad if him is the object of the sentence. It was quite a surprise for him and his bro squad. Right? But if you're gonna say didn't do something, you have to say he didn't do it. His bro squad didn't do it. He and his bro squad didn't do it. Right? Because you wouldn't say him didn't do it. I mean, you might say that. It's kind of funny. A little Cookie Monster energy. Or like Cookie Monster Yoda kind of thing. If you like.
immediately click off of this live stream the second that this child exposed himself. If a child exposes themselves to you, I think you have a moral responsibility to immediately click away from that shit. But I guess Destiny and his bro squad thought it was really funny to sit and laugh while staring at an 8-year-old's penis. Next, a couple years later, Destiny planned to kill a kid. Apparently, this kid was DDoSing Destiny's website. DDoSing is when you overwhelm a website with fake internet traffic, causing it to shut down. down, and because Destiny's website was shut down, he was no longer able to make money from it.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or
What?
it would have just been him and his father. I don't, cause I
Yeah,
don't know anything
so-
about- dude, that was some of the most.
Yeah. Kill a child and his family. And this is the kind of shit he will say on stream. With obviously not joking. He can't be like, "Oh, that was a joke." This dude's a fucking fucked up psycho. Like, I knew it as soon as he started being like, we would just go around and troll people and look at dicks. Like that. He sucks so bad.
Fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it, but I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address.
This is fucking disturbing, dude. This is really, because, like, he's acting way more like, this doesn't sound like him just kind of bullshitting like, yeah, man, I would have killed him. Like, he's sort of like going through a panicky feeling of like, I think he just said he got their addresses. He got his address. Please don't tell me he like got a weapon. This dude's fuck. I think there's even, because there's like things where it's like if you plan to do a murder and you get caught before you're able to carry it out, you could definitely still be charged. If you're admitting that you did that, oh, I don't know if they can actually get you on that. But that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Like, this dude would do that. The only reason he didn't want to do that is because he said he didn't want to fuck up his current life. If this guy is backed into a corner, he will stop at nothing to get petty revenge. Like, if he thinks his current life is like less good, he's easily willing to throw his life away for revenge and to overkill. He said he'd kill the family too. The kid and his family. This dude's fucked up and scary, man. Watch out, Ryan.
I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you have no fucking idea. That's when I first started getting interest in like
streets mapped out.
Owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and
You got a permit to own a gun.
everything.
Destiny obviously never went through with killing this kid, but the fact that he legitimately planned to kill him is unhinged.
Were you really considering it? Yeah, of course.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's an understatement. That's unhinged for sure. But it's like, you can have a door that's unhinged, but like the door's kind of still there. You know, it's just like a little off. You could still kind of close it. And then there's doors where it got blown off with a fucking bomb and it's a quarter mile away. It's also unhinged.
Of course.
It's actually kind of scary, like how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family.
How old was the kid in relation to you? I think the kid was probably 16. I think I was 22.
Destiny has defended this to this day, saying that if someone is stopping you from making money, this justifies killing them, even if they're a child.
If you came outside every single day and some guy was slashing your tires and he wouldn't stop and you called the police and nobody wanted to do anything, just without having proof.
Every day was slashing your tires. Listen to this. Listen to his voice. It's different. It's welling up with real genuine feelings of rage, of contempt, murderous contempt. Holy shit. I hope, God, I don't know, man. He's a scary guy.
Despite having proof for it, you're like, well, I'm gonna have to attack this dude and maybe even kill him. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Obviously, I think
Him and his family.
defended this to this day, saying that if someone is stopping you from making money, this justifies killing them, even if they're a child.
If you came outside every single day and some guy was slashing your tires and he wouldn't stop and you called the police and nobody wanted to do anything, despite having proof for it, you're like, well, I'm gonna have to attack this dude and maybe even kill him. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Obviously, I agree that someone maliciously taking away your primary source of income is incredibly bad, but I think there are a lot of other possible avenues you could explore before jumping to the nuclear option of...
He got hacked. It happens. People get hacked. If your website going down temporarily means that you like lose your whole life, like that's, talk about blaming the victim. Here I go. Like, you need to kind of rethink your whole situation, because you're in a very, very precarious place, teetering on the edge of complete and total failure, where you're willing to murder knowing full well you're going to get caught and go to prison. What, if someone was slashing your tires, you wouldn't do that? No, dude. If someone slashed my tires every day, so what, I go and get new tires and then they slash the new ones, right? I could see maybe kicking someone's ass for doing that. Like, the police never do anything and no one will help you. That's just not a fucking thing that happens, man. And that's not what happened. He didn't take away your website every day and like nobody cared. Like, that, all that other stuff was like adding it in. I'm sure the police did nothing and wouldn't do anything, but like someone else could help you out. Like, you could, especially if it's someone slashing your tires in your house every day, it's probably one of your neighbors, right? Just go talk to your other neighbors and just figure out what to do with this guy. Because he's probably not just slashing your tires. He's probably doing a bunch of crazy shit to everyone in the whole neighborhood. You don't get to murder him. That's not a thing. You could sue him. Hey, let's take this to court. You can't murder him. No.
Shooting a child. As much as it obviously sucks to lose your income, I think if you need to choose between killing a child in cold blood and losing your Twitch revenue, you're just gonna need to put the fries in the bag and get a new job. The next child-related Destiny incident is when he encouraged an infamous lolly or drawn CP artist to draw a picture of his 6-year-old child. This artist is a man named Shadman. You might recognize Shadman from the recent controversy with Ava Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast, who was a really big fan of Shadman's work. Shadman has a long history of drawing pornographic images of actual children, including Keemstar's daughter, and because Destiny was aware of this, he encouraged Shadman to draw a pornographic image of his 6-year-old son. This controversy started because Destiny had been insulting the YouTube animation community.
People are curious, Destiny, where'd you get your claim about animators making $250,000? Is that how much you make playing video games? I thought you guys were more business-minded. I thought you guys were more business-minded. I forgot that YouTube is still full of children who don't know how to make money. Children who don't know how to make money. And then this guy claps back, I'm sure you'll be playing League of Legends on Twitch until you're 50. This sounds like a great long-term business venture. Boom! Got his ass. He's such a fucking, like, you can just, his writing style, it's among, it's the douchiest we've ever seen. It's off the charts. It's off the charts in terms of douchiness. Little sad face emoji. Fuck you. This is I just started making I lucked into a fuckload of money for some fucking reason. I mean, these guys just stumble ass backwards. Tim Pool, fucking Destiny, fucking Hassan. I mean, everybody. And then you just turn around and be like, they don't know how to make money.
In response, Shadman made this drawing of Destiny.
I am now paraplegic after this drawing. Help me, wise sage. Great. I don't... So stupid. This is an enemies of enemies kind of thing. Like, you don't need to be ableist to make fun of Destiny. You just make them all fucking creepy and pedophile-y.
Destiny to make fun of him. So Destiny then responded to Shadman by tweeting, "Hey at Shadbase, if drawing fan art of me is a tad uncomfortable, you could try drawing my son. He's only 6, so it should be easier for you. To try to be good faith to Destiny, this tweet was obviously a joke, and he didn't actually want Shadman to draw a picture of his son. However, I still think that goading a known CP artist into drawing CP of your own son is incredibly irresponsible. Because imagine if Shadman took him up on his request and did go ahead and make the drawing in the same way he had drawn
Right.
Keemstar's daughter. Then Destiny's son would have had to deal with the fact that there would be drawn CP of him floating around the internet for the rest of his life.
Right. Holy fuck. Dude. This is the first I heard that he has a child. When did he... I guess this is not a biopic, so we're not going through like the steps. But so in 2017, he has a 6-year-old, which means he had a kid in 2011. That's the beginning of our fucking timeline. So his son is like 14 years old now. Holy shit. Can you imagine being 14? And then there's all these people on the internet talking about shit your dad did the year you were born. And since. And it's all this shit like you probably wouldn't have seen or been in contact with because it's like it's all going on inside of his like little streaming dungeon. That's where daddy goes to work. You don't open this door. Oh my God. So he literally is a father of a child. This is bad. I thought he was like a single childless fucking gooner. Oh my God. His son is now the age of the girls that he wanted to fuck.
If there was a known child murderer and you decided to tweet at that child murderer, hey, how about you come murder my child, LOL, I think we would all agree that that would be incredibly irresponsible, even if that was just a joke. In the same way, I think it's incredibly irresponsible to encourage a known CP artist to draw CP of your child, even if it's just a joke. Thankfully, Shadman did not end up drawing Destiny's child like he had drawn Keemstar's child, and Destiny got to have fun making his little joke.
What a great comeback.
Even though
he cackles like a fucking Reese monkey at... Who said, what a great comeback? What does this say underneath? Lol, good one? That's actually pretty funny. Oh my god, dude. It's so toxic. Just like the reinforcement, the positive reinforcement he gets from this shit. Like the joy he gets from this. Like, this isn't someone kind of like, it's so blatant. It's so out in the open. The smugness. I'm not going to say the smugness is the worst part, but the smugness is the shit frosting around this really dense shit cake. Right? And that shit frosting just makes it really, really hard to watch and not to get up and start breaking shit.
even though this joke could have come at the expense of his 6-year-old son's safety. Even though a lot of these situations involving children happened quite a while ago, I still think Destiny has been spreading harmful rhetoric around children even quite recently. A couple years ago, Destiny said that a 30-year-old randomly sexting a 14-year-old would not be grooming.
Let's say there's a person that's like 30 years old and tries to like randomly sext like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming.
So that clip sounds pretty bad, right? But we don't want to approach Destiny in bad faith or take him out of context, so let's try to understand the actual argument that Destiny is making.
That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming. Now, let's say there's a person that's 30 years old and they're specifically seeking out like 14, 15-year-olds to kind of just like talk to them about their school life, figure out what their problems are, you know, be cool because you're old and you have experience, and then you kind of weasel in like sex. That's like grooming, right? That would be like,
but Destiny, what if you groomed them because you like them and they just happen to be young? Then that wouldn't be grooming, right? You fucking weaselly, stupid piece of shit. What a fuck ass fucking
grooming.
douchebag. Tell me, oh god.
And then you kind of weasel in like sex. That's like grooming, right? That would be like grooming.
So Destiny's argument is that a 30-year-old randomly sexting a 14-year-old isn't grooming, but if a 30-year-old tries to weasel their way into a 14-year-old's life and slowly manipulate them into sexting them, this would be grooming. But this argument goes against the definition of grooming. The definition of grooming is the action of attempting to form a relationship with a child or young person with the intention of sexually assaulting them or inducing them to commit an illegal act. Guess what, Destiny? Nowhere in that definition does it say that grooming has to be a slow process. Grooming is just forming a relationship with a child for the purpose of sex. A lot of times grooming is a slow process because they have to slowly break down the child's boundaries in order to get them to have a sexual relationship with them, but sometimes grooming can happen very quickly. For example, in situations where the child already has some established level of trust with the person who is grooming them. In this clip, Destiny is talking about influencers who sext their underage fans and saying that these influencers sexting their fans wouldn't necessarily be grooming because grooming is a slow process. The reason that influencers are often able to groom their fans so quickly is because their fans already have an established parasocial relationship with the influencer. If a teacher wants to groom a student, this usually happens more slowly because the teacher doesn't have a pre-established relationship with the student. But because influencers already have a parasocial relationship with their fans, grooming can occur much more quickly. Maybe Destiny's argument is that the very first time you sext a 14-year-old, this wouldn't be grooming yet because you haven't established a relationship with them yet. But this is still a stupid argument because in this context, randomly sexting a 14-year-old for the first time would be the first step in attempting to groom them. You're acting like everyone else is so stupid for not understanding grooming while you don't understand grooming. Destiny would claim that he just cares about definitional specificity, but the specific definitions you're promoting aren't even accurate.
And even if they were, definitional specificity is fucking bullshit. Like, you can try to, like, define your way out of a fucking plastic bag. It's ridiculous. I'm not solely attracted to women. The affliction that I have definitionally extends to women aged 19. So technically I could be attracted to a 19-year-old. Check and mate. No, dude. It's the action that you did. You fucking reached out, tried to do sexy shit with a child. Whatever you want to call it, man. Call it blooky badoo gadog badoo. We can make up a new word for it. Whatever it is, it's fucking bad and you did it and you fucking have to fuck off now. You have to go live in the land of wind and ghosts.
I'm not saying that Destiny is making this argument because he wants to groom children, but when you combine him saying that some 15-year-olds are hot as fuck, with him sharing around pictures of 15-year-olds in bikinis, with him saying that 30-year-olds sexting 14-year-olds isn't necessarily grooming, it starts to paint a very strange picture. Destiny also got really mad that people were labeling Drake a pedophile. He even had a debate about why it's totally fine for Millie Bobby Brown at 14 to be texting Drake about relationship advice.
When you say he's texting her and he wants to give her dating advice, what if she's the one that brought it up first? Should he...
What the fuck, dude? What if she did it first? What the fuck, dude? This is the Democratic Party's chosen fucking mouthpiece? I mean, I knew they were trash, but I didn't know that they were sloppy, fucked up, steaming garbage. What a fucking world we live in, man. Where this piece of shit is just like how many fucking people are hanging on his every stupid fucking word when he talks like an absolute dickhead and a moron. I think, I mean, you suck so bad.
You say something like, I'm sorry, but it's inappropriate for me to talk to you about high school boys, or what? Like, what?
Yeah, that's what you do, man. You'd be like, hey, don't talk about that. Let's talk about show business. We're both in show business. You're going to do another TV show? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You don't talk about sex and shit. You shouldn't even be talking to her. Drake's a fucking creep. I mean, all these guys. It was whatever his success is. I don't know how successful he is or how he fucking got successful. But he obviously became like #1 big boy, super boy. And that, he was probably already he was already a like weird ass creep. And then he gets a bunch of money and power. Oh God. That's just a recipe for garbage, man. Good. Gotta give it to Ryan, man. You're killing this fucking content, Nuke. This is a real content nuke. Okay? This is what it looks like. Ethan Klein, you dumb fuck. You have no idea how to content nuke. This is how it's fucking done. This is exactly how it's done.
yeah. You do it all the time. When some young person comes up to you and starts saying some weird stuff, you just sit there with this 13-year-old and then you start having conversations extended about them about dating.
Yeah, I have before. What do you mean? No, would I?
Of
tell
course
a
he has
if a-
before. He
if a
doesn't-
young
he has
person
no
came up to me and
shame.
asking me questions
He's
about some,
absolutely
like, boy
shameless.
pro-
And now he's gonna get mad at the other guy for that. What, you think there's some problem? That you have to be definitionally specific.
Some shit. Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, of course. What do you mean? I'm a 35-year-old man. Of course, I'm gonna have better advice for them than some fucking random high school person. Yeah, of course.
Wait.
If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, "There's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school," I'd say, "Oh no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15-year-old boy, or ask your fucking mom and dad who are gonna tell you to never talk to any."
Oh man, the indignant, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna have way better advice for her than some teenager. No, you're not. I'm a 35-year-old man. Of course I'll have better advice. What a fucking brain-rotted dipshit. I can't even think of new words. We need to invent new words for the levels of stupiditude and garbage. There's got to be some other carnivore's shit that we can compare this to. Oh, is this Wolverine shit? I mean, we're getting exotic here. Oh my God, hear that? Let me hear that again.
Of course. If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, "There's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school," I'd say, "Oh no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15."
The face he makes when he says 15-year-old. Like what? You think some 15-year-old girl should be talking to some 15-year-old about her dating life? Like look how incredulous he is. Like, and so stupid. Like, if I came into the room and you're like, "Oh, hey, it's gonna rain later," I'm like, "Rain? You fucking think that like rain, like water's just gonna fall from the goddamn sky? Oh, right, just water, right, just gonna fall out of the fucking sky? Yeah, okay, whatever, fucking idiot. Gonna rain later. Think this dude thinks that fucking water, like it's just gonna like form like a cloud above our heads and just like drip water all over the land? You fucking moron, dude. I can't believe how stupid you're being, thinking that rain can happen ever. That's how dumb he looks. He's just like saying such a matter-of-fact thing and being like, "What? You think I'm a 35-year-old man?" He
around at 14
to give her dating advice. What if
relationship
Listen
advice.
to this.
when you say he's texting her and he wants to give her dating advice, what if she's the one that brought it up first? Should he say something like, "I'm sorry, but it's inappropriate for me to talk to you about high school boys," or what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, and the guy he's arguing with is perfectly sensible.
Yeah. You do it all the time. When some young person comes up to you and starts saying some weird stuff, you just sit there with this 13-year-old and then you start having conversations extended about them about dating.
Yeah, I have before. What do you mean? No, would I tell if a young person came up to me and they were asking me questions about some like boy problems or something? Shit, yeah, I'd probably say, "Yeah, of course. What do you mean? I'm a 35-year-old man."
I was just, yeah, of course. What do you mean? I'm a 35-year-old man. Like, he's saying it like it's obvious that he, as a 35-year-old man, is going to have great dating advice for teenagers. Obviously. It's going to be way easier. Like, seriously? Like, I like this girl, but I don't know what to say. All right, talk to her friends. See what they say about her. That's the most I would say. I would tell them to go talk to one of their peers about it. Like, as an adult man, if this ever happened, If like a child wandered up to me and was like, what do I do about the girl at school? I'd be like, hey, man, don't worry about it. Just, go talk to one of her friends, see if she likes you or not. And if she doesn't, just drop it. All right? I don't know. How am I supposed to? Oh, because he like had a lot of relationships. So he's going to be like, well, let me tell you one thing. Like, first of all, like if a woman says this, what she really means is blah, blah, blah. I got this great book. It's called the Woman like Translation Dictionary. And it's how you can tell when all of their bullshit is. So like if she says we never spend enough time together, what she's really saying is I like your friend's dick. That's the kind of fucking advice you get, like jaded ass, overly specific, fucking just dog shit advice from any 35-year-old. And a 35-year-old man should know that. What should I just let them? What does he say? Like, let them talk to their peers? Let them talk to, no, he calls them some 15-year-old. Like, if a young boy comes to me for dating advice, what am I to do? Pass him off to some young boy? Like, you're not passing anyone off to anywhere. You just stay out of it. You should, if you see children, you should run the other way. You dickhead. You fucked up piece of shit. Of course, this is infuriating. This is infuriating. Imagine the people in his chat. What is he saying? Can't talk. I'm turning into a pedo. Ask your mom. I'm banning him for a week if this is fake. 100%. Lol. Abel. Destiny, you don't confirm nor deny. What the fuck are you asking confirmation now?
Man, of course I'm going to have better advice for them than some fucking random high school person.
Some random high school person. Calling. So when you're talking about non-specific people, let's say an indefinite person, right? If I say a person would do it, right? A doctor, a friend, a classmate. All of those technically are random people, right? So you could say, go talk to one of your friends, go talk to one of your classmates, go talk to one of the friends in the other social group, talk to, there are clique ambassadors, right? If you've got cliques, but you've always got these guys that are fine to go in between. They floaters, we call them. They float between different cliques, and they're there to kind of hold everything together, keep everyone on the same page, right? So you can tap into that, right? Calling it some random high schooler, right? It's that thing where he's taking the other person's argument or what he thinks is the counter argument and trying to denigrate it down into its least possible charitable amount, right? Because he's like, me giving gentle, worldly, sage, honest, good faith advice to a young person who is in great need of counsel, or do I just throw him to the wolves where any random fuck could take this kid and drag him down into the pit of poor life choices and ruin his life forever? You want that? Or should I step up and deliver my sage worldly advice? Some random high schooler. Yes, dude. You should absolutely leave the dating advice for the high schoolers. I'm sure there's at least a couple, like, They might even have a newspaper with like a dating advice columnist. Don't write into the columnist. Just go talk to the person there. There's where you get your dating advice. Okay? Find the most like responsible, kind of like journalistic-y kind of person, you know? One of the students that's really got their shit together. The student that's the most precocious and kind of grown up. Go talk to them. If you need like big brother advice, talk to an upperclassman. Right? If you're 13, you can definitely find like a friendly like high school sophomore, right? Who will be gentle and not be like this dickhead who's fucking an old elderly man. I mean, he's younger than me, but for our intents and purposes, he's an old fogey. And he's like, of course I'll get better advice. No, he won't. He will give awful, terrible, terrible advice.
And then you start having conversations extended.
Young person came up to me and they were asking me questions about some like boy problems or some shit. Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, of course. What do you mean, I'm a 35-year-old man?
This? What do you mean? Of course. Of course I'm going to talk about, what do you mean? Like, dude, that's not a what do you mean kind of situation. That's like a, I can see both sides of this. But honestly, I think if you're responsible about it, if they feel like they don't have any, if that individual expresses that they don't have any other older people in their life to talk to, then I feel that I know enough to possibly step into that role. And I think I would be able to do that responsibly and ethically. And it's possible that if this girl went elsewhere for advice, say from other peers, that they might not have the emotional maturity to really give her the advice she needs. That might possibly be the only fair way to like try to hold on to the position that he's in, right? Now, obviously, he doesn't mean any of this because he just wants to get close to them to fuck them, right? But he's trying to justify it as like, I would just be like a big brotherly sage advice giver. So I have to make this appear like fucking obvious. Like, you guys are total idiots for fucking going against me on this. With this hand gesture. The mind-blowing... What, am I just supposed to, like, let the kids talk to each other about this shit? Remember Zach Galifianakis's, he's like, oh, it's inappropriate gesture person. That's the inappropriate gesture. What are you saying? Human beings just need fucking water to live? You seriously think that if you take away all the drinking water, we would die? That's ridiculous. We would never die. Nobody has ever died. What are you talking about?
Of course, I'm going to have better advice for them than some fucking random high school person. Yeah, of course. Wait. If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, there's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school, I'd say, oh, no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, go ask another 15-year-old boy. Just say the other position. At this point, he doesn't have to exaggerate it. He'd said another 15-year-old boy. Yeah, man. Go talk to your friends. Or your peers. That would be the great advice. Like, I would give them advice about dating and sex. I'd say, don't ask me about that. Ask someone else. No. Or and then he's going to be like, or they're retarded.
Or ask your fucking mom and dad who are going to...
Your R-word mom and fucking dad? So, again, we're talking about an indefinite person. It's if a 15-year-old was having problems with a creepy guy he's now also invented that this 15-year-old's parents are what? R word, total fools, completely incompetent. Like, they're like, I guess put the fork in the toaster. I forgot to not put my face in the oatmeal. Is it like this? Is this teenager a caretaker of her elderly, infirmed parents? Why is that part of your indefinite person? Because you just said if a 15-year-old comes to me for advice about a creepy guy, well, obviously, every other teenager in her life is a complete fool and an idiot, and her parents are both complete fools and idiots. Does he just think everyone who has teenagers are complete fools? Are R words? Is that what he is saying? Or just the ones that have children that go running to Destiny for advice about dating? And, oh God, this is so fucked. And what if it's the girl's fault? What if the girl was the one that asked for it? Yeah, you dick. That's why he thinks that it's so much better to go to a 35-year-old man for that kind of thing. Oh, of course. He highly recommends it.
I'm gonna tell you to never talk to any boys ever. No, what the fuck?
Hold up. You think you should be talking to them about sex?
It depends on the context. I don't give a What do you mean? If a 15-year-old asks me and she's like, I think I'm gonna this guy at school unprotected, yeah, I'd probably say, bro, you're 15. Don't destroy your life. Make sure you guys are using protection. What the fuck? Why would I not say this?
Okay, and do you think that most parents finding out that you're talking to their kids about sex and giving them advice, do you think they would take it well?
I don't know. I don't give a They should be talking to their own kids about it.
So apparently Destiny has given children relationship advice in the past. Destiny is famously really great at relationships, so I'm sure these children really appreciated his sage words of wisdom.
But if there's one thing that nobody would ever say about Destiny, is that he makes good personal life dating decisions.
Destiny also says that he thinks he would give better relationship advice than a child's retarded parents, and that he would give a child sex advice even if this would upset the child's parents. Who cares if parents don't want you to talk to their kids about sex? Destiny understands your kids better than you do. Destiny, you're a rule utilitarian, right? You believe that we should establish moral rules based on what generally leads to the least amount of harm. But you don't think that it would be good to establish a general rule that it's not safe for 31-year-olds like Drake to be texting 14-year-olds like Millie Bobby Brown about their relationships? Of course, there can be hypothetical situations where this isn't harmful and the adult actually does have good intentions, but in general, I don't think it's safe for children to be having these sorts of private conversations with adults. And I think it is totally reasonable to side-eye Drake for having these sorts of conversations with Millie Bobby Brown, especially because he kissed a child on stage.
How old are you? I can't go to jail yet, man. 17? Why do you look like that?
Now, is Drake a pedophile? Well, like I said, he kissed a child on stage, but Destiny would probably explain that this child was post-pubescent, not prepubescent, and kissing one child doesn't prove that he has a primary attraction to children, so therefore, we don't have enough evidence to label Drake a pedophile. Oh god, can you see how exhausting this is? Some people actually enjoy to listen to this shit day in and day out on Destiny's stream. Maybe Destiny just really wants to show Drake good faith because Drake has dropped so many bangers over the years. Or maybe he's defending Drake because he sees himself in Drake because of his own personal relationships with young people. Enter Rose is Coming, Destiny's 19-year-old e-girl Discord.
Oh boy. Okay. You know, I haven't been taking notes. I haven't really needed to take notes. I felt the need later on into the Ethan documentary, the film, into Ethan's film, because that was just dog shit on dog shit on dog shit. I was trying to criticize Hassan, but the whole time I had to criticize the actual nuke itself because the video was bullshit. The film is no good. It's just rotten from top to bottom. And I was getting so frustrated and getting so flustered, couldn't keep track of the bullshit. So I had to lay everything out. So I was worried about that this time. So early on, I started laying everything out. It's like, okay, let's see it. Trying to be like skeptical. I'm like, okay, tell me, why is this guy so bad? He's unlikable. He says some bullshit. He talks some shit online. He's a fucking Zionist. We haven't gotten into any politics, right? That's the other thing. There's no politics in this. This is just about little shit he's done with himself doing things, right? Ethan's content, Nuke, was nothing but just like explaining some political thing, trying to convince the audience of his side, and then pointing out that Hassan takes the other political perspective, and that means he's bad. Because Ethan's side is against terrorism and totally for America and freedom. So if you're against Ethan's politics, that means you're on the side of the terrorists, and you like terrorism, and you think it's cool when they kill people. It's so fucking juvenile. And it was so poorly made, and it was just so dog shit. And so I was like, okay, we're going to draw out a whole fucking diagram here, and I'm going to try to give this doc the absolute best chance it could possibly have. And I listened to every word of that shit, and I wrote down every bit of evidence that we could call evidence to support his fucking claims, and nothing connected, nothing stuck. It was a huge pile of shit. But I could prove it was a big pile of shit by looking at the notes I took and looking at the diagram that I made of trying to put it all together. You just see nothing's connected. Doesn't add up, doesn't line up, nothing going on. And the documentary was just so hard to watch because Ethan just lies and does bullshit and does terrible comedy and has line flubs and has weird edits and nonsensical, confusing, out of context clips that you have to just rewind over and over to be like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? What is this? And sure, I'm a little stoned, but I'm paying attention to everything. I'm trying to get it all down, and I'm often repeating sections of the video dozens of times because this bullshit goes deep. Okay? So, oh my goodness. With this video, this nuke is very well done. I'm finding myself not really stopping it until we hear Destiny. I hear the clip. I talk shit about it because it's such bullshit. But then I click play, and then Ryan Beard just basically says an even better point, or just like, agrees and takes him down and acknowledges all the same problems that I saw and more, probably. It's very good. This is a very satisfying thing to watch because I'm getting the feedback that I lacked from that other one, where the person making the video is someone I trust. He's been building trust between me and him the whole time because he's been promising things and then delivering them. Here's what I'm going to show you. And then he shows it to you. And then he did this. Here, look. Boom. He did that. And then he said this. Oh, here's a video of him saying that. And then he kind of did this. And then here's a video of him really doing that. And you're like, dude, this is more. You're delivering way more than you promised. Right? This is a very, very good Nuke. This is a very, very, very bad man. Destiny. We're still in harming children. Oh my God. Rose is coming. Dear Lord. I don't even want to know what this is. I can't hate this guy anymore. I don't care about the timeline anymore. Like, I thought that I was going to want to, like, place all these things on the timeline. And then I was going to have to, like, gonna check, like, the claims, when Ryan says it happens versus, just, like, check it all out. See if there's any holes in the case. That's really what I wanted to do. But tonight, during tonight's episode, I'm just enthralled with it. I pause it, I talk a little bit, and I'm satisfied. I'm not feeling the need to, like, write this down and keep track of it and, like, let's talk about this later. I'm kind of done. Everything we've seen is something that I know absolutely to my core is shit that is damning and awful. And I don't even care to, like, revisit it or go over it again or record the details. I don't want to talk about the cartoony guy. I don't want to spend any of my time just thinking about any of that stuff or any of those guys again. I've done it once. So I'm going to say I don't think I'm really going to record or write down the stuff from this. It's not because I want to discount its importance. It's actually because it's probably, like, more important or something. I don't want to go through it all in detail. I don't need to, because it's been presented to me clearly, concisely, honestly. And Ryan, I think, is doing very, very good work here. And he's making a very compelling case in a very straightforward, matter-of-fact way. He's using a bit of humor here and there, but it's well placed. It's not disrupting the serious points he wants to make. It's usually just used to actually cut the tension of the seriousness of what Destiny's doing, because a lot of this shit is just so not, and it's not nice to think about. Like this could be something that if you heard it, it might ruin your day. Oh, God. We're just going to watch this. We're just going to take it in. We're not going to dwell on a lot of this stuff. I don't want to keep jumping down Destiny's throat every time I hear him talk. There's no need for me to correct Ryan. I don't think I will have to. I haven't had to yet. Maybe there's a couple little things. We'll see. I just want to get this over with. This is depressing.
Kitten. A couple years ago, Destiny was simultaneously married to a woman named Melina while having an affair on Melina with a white nationalist woman named Lauren Southern and sexting this 19-year-old e-girl named Rose is Coming on the side. Destiny was in an open marriage with Melina, but he still managed to have an affair with Melina because he didn't tell her about his relationship with Lauren Southern. And he also violated his wife's consent by sending her sex tapes to this 19-year-old e-girl without asking her.
Nothing has happen with consent.
I guess having an open relationship just wasn't enough for Destiny. Even though he was already free to sleep with other people, he still had to figure out some way to fuck over his wife. Anyway, while Destiny was sexting this 19-year-old, he asked her if she wanted to do age play, which is where you role play as being even younger. She was already 15 years younger than him, but you know, why not add on another 5 or 10 years for good measure? According to Destiny himself, he views sexting 19-year-olds as the same as sexting 15-year-olds.
When you're 19, you're a little kid, okay? Now, if you're 22, a 19-year-old's not a kid to you, okay? I'm 29. A 19-year-old might as well be a 15-year-old to me. It's all the fucking same, dude. Don't give me this fucking, just because of some legal age of consent, whatever bullshit, I have about as much in common with like an 18-year-old, 19-year-old fucking freshman in school as I would a fucking sophomore in high school. Any type of inclination towards any of those people is really fucking weird. If you live with your mom and dad,
So he's defensive. This is his like protesting and deflecting exactly what he's doing and what he is. And at other times he seems to cop to, which is his whatever else philia that he called it, his like 15 to 19 philia. This very specific type of like weird thing that he's like, I think he also says he doesn't have it because the definition of that is that it has to be primarily, and he only sometimes. So we could call him a sometimes whatever philia and throw the book at him.
dad still pay all of your bills. You're still a virgin. You've never been in a relationship. You don't go to school. You've never even had a job before. You've never lived on your own. You're a child.
Listen to how he talks. I bet that's how he talks down to kids to try to like prove how much more powerful he is than them. He's like, you've never had a job. You never owned a bank account, have you? No. Yeah, you see? Yeah, you're just not growing up like me.
You're very much a child.
So Destiny views 19-year-olds as little kids.
You're a little kid.
And says that being attracted to them is really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird.
Yet here he is 5 years later at age 34, sexting this 19-year-old, asking her if she wants to do age play with him, and sending her non-consensual sex tapes of his friends and wife. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what my opinion is of this. In Destiny's own words, he thinks this is really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird.
So, is Destiny a pedophile? I don't really give a fuck what you label him. I choose to label him a freak. Only freaks engage in the type of degenerate behavior that Destiny has engaged in. I don't give a fuck about semantic debates about the technical clinical definition of pedophilia. If you send pictures of a 15-year-old in a bikini to your friends and talk about how hot they are, you are a freak.
There you go.
Let's finish.
This is a very, very, very good move on Ryan's part. To avoid any like legal trouble. So in order to talk shit about people and you have like a public forum, you're allowed to say your opinions about them. Or you're allowed to say true things about them. But you can get in trouble if you say they did certain things when you either know they didn't or you didn't even try to find out if they did or not. Right? That's why on the news, they always say the magic word, allegedly. Allegedly. They allegedly did this, allegedly did that. And every single time you say allegedly, I mean, I don't know if it's every single time, but it's a funny kind of thing because it will cast doubt. It can kind of cast doubt in both directions, right? Like if they said, he pulled a gun, allegedly, like if if you're like, hey, we need to add that word in, please, right? But sometimes they're like, they say allegedly with a wink and a nod, where we've all just watched a video of this guy committing the crime, and he like tweeted that he did it, but because there hasn't been a court, the court hasn't returned its verdict yet, legally the news has to cover their ass no matter what and say allegedly everywhere. But they'll say it with like a we have to say this. He allegedly got into the car, allegedly fired 12 shots into the teddy bear. So, how did Ryan deal with that? Well, he just decided to make up an opinion. And he's not going to use the word pedophile because that technically is a crime. And that falls under the things that you can definitely get sued for, accusing someone of doing/being if they didn't do/be it. There's some kind of, it's slander or whatever. And if they're like, I was actually acquitted, but the news said that I was guilty because they said I did it. Now there's all these footage that's going around online forever saying I did it. And for the rest of my life, I'm always going to have people coming up to me and be like, hey, you're that guy that did it. You fucking fuck you, you did it. And he's like, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. So he fucked his reputation for life. He can sue you and be like, you owe me a fuck lot of money to just kind of make up for all this bullshit I've been dealing with now, because you just fucking ruined my whole life just because your careless words, accusations. When I was actually found innocent, I was cleared of all charges. You fucking accused me before the verdict was returned. So there's no court case. There's no charges pressed against Destiny at this time, at time of press. So he's a freak. He's an asshole. He's a dickhead. I hate this. I hate his stupid fucking face. Those are all fine things to say legally because those are all your opinion. And there's no like defamation. Because it's just like, what? How is it defamation if just one asshole thinks that you're an asshole? Like, that can't be defaming. That's just the fact. That guy doesn't like that guy. And like, there's, because an asshole, it's not like a thing you're, they're not saying you're literally one of those. We should, like the knowledge fight formulaic objections with Roger Stone and Larry Claymore, I think is his name. And he's like, you called me a piece of shit? Do you think that I'm actually a piece of shit? Like, or something like that. He was like just taking these very common insults and just be like, so you think I, or I don't know. It's like, you're acting like a bitch. It's like, oh, so you think I'm a bitch? What is a bitch to you? What do you think a bitch does? Is a bitch a homosexual? It's so crazy. But yeah, no, you can't sue someone for calling you a bitch or saying that you're an asshole or you act like an asshole or something like that. It has to be, you say someone did something or is like a convicted criminal or is a pedophile or something like that. And it turns out it's not true. You might have some defenses if you thought in good faith you were telling the truth. But you still might get sued. Even if you win, it's still going to be a pain in the ass. So just call him a freak. It's brilliant. It's a great move. Instead of just being like, Hassan is a terrorist. Like, honestly, Ethan's content Nuke could be fucking exhibit 1 in a huge defamation lawsuit. Exhibit 1. It wouldn't be the whole reason for the case. It would be one piece of evidence. It would be like, this has been a 20-year campaign of harassment, and it's gonna end in something like Ethan like setting a fire, and then like they're in court and they're just like, well, it all goes back to the so-called content nuke, where Ethan repeatedly accuses my client of being a terrorist. This is just where it started, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I wonder if they're ever going to be playing clips of that content nuke in a courtroom with Ethan as the defendant. One can only wonder. In a civil suit. That'd be interesting. But I don't think it'll happen here. I think he's smart enough to like probably have a lawyer read his script before he does it and all that shit. I mean, it's well shot, well edited. Like, yeah, it's the same kind of thing. It's just him standing looking at a camera. But he's just like, keep it simple. Keep your face in frame. Blurry background is great. He's just getting right to the point. If we contrast that with Ethan's, it was a total fucking mess. He had like a ridiculous background with all this bullshit. I'm like looking at the background and shit. Can't even fucking follow what he's saying. Because he just flips between being sarcastic and genuine over and over and just making it so unclear what's a joke and what's his point. What's something that actually happened and what didn't. And playing long, like, reels, It'll be like a minute and a half of like 1 to 3 second clips of Hassan saying the same word over and over. Right? Be like, I hate liberals. I hate liberals. I hate fucking liberals. Like, how many times has Hassan said, I hate liberals? I mean, yeah. It could go on for hours, I'm sure. But and he just did that so much in that stupid video. It's like I don't need clips. Can you imagine if he just put like 17 clips of Destiny just saying the word pedophile or 15, and then him just saying every time he said 15, he said, I want to do it with a 15-year-old. And then all we got was just clips of 15. That would be Ethan's approach to this content nuke. He'd be like, oh, look how many times he says 15. And then he'd be like looking for like 15 all around at different numbers and tweets and doing numerology. Jesus. Ryan Beard, absolutely not dog shit. What's the opposite of dog shit? It's like the dog's nose when it's just wet. Like it's not it's still something from a dog, but it's probably like the least gross, like wet part of a dog. You know what I mean? The little slightly damp, snooty nose of a dog, I think, is the one like bit of I don't want to say liquid, but moisture. Is that fair? Dampness. There are different wet or damp things associated with dogs. One of them is their tongue, and that is a little gross to most people. I don't want dogs' tongues on me. I don't want to put my mouth on a dog's tongue. But the nose? That's cool. I'll kiss a dog on the nose. Say, ooh, you got a wet nose. Aw. I won't be grossed out by it. I'm not going to linger. I wouldn't lick their nose. But I'd do a little peck on the snoot of a dog's nose. And if it was like extra wet, I would be like, okay, wipe it off, get on with my day. I wouldn't worry about it. So, dog's nose. If dog shit means it's absolutely terrible, the dog's nose, which can smell the shit, is the opposite. It's the dog's nose. I don't know how to turn that into a thing. If like it's the bee's knees, it's the dog's nose, right? Is it? Could we use it like that? Hey man, how is that content, Nuke? It's the dog's nose, dog. Straight smelled out that bullshit. Fucking nuked his ass. So we had women, then children, back to women. It's Friday night. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna keep going. I already hate this guy so much. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to build a case. He's building it for me. He's building it for us. There's no need, because what? I don't need to do this because he's already done it. He's already ridiculed. I'm sorry. He doesn't need to be ridiculed the way I ridiculed Ethan by trying to do his work for him with the notes. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, honestly, when I started this, I didn't know if this content nuke was going to be honest and good. All right? I didn't know that Ryan was going to actually bring the heat and do like just one of the most brutal content nukes. It only has 482,000 views? Oh my god. Ethan's had like 2 million. Oh my god. Why isn't it more? Why isn't it more big? Bad Empanada's reaction to Ethan Klein has 202,000. Hassan's reaction. Oh my god, should I watch Hassan's reaction? Oh, this is Hassan's reaction to this that I'm watching. To the content nuke. Oh, interesting. What if I reacted to his reaction to the content nuke, and then someone did a reaction to my reaction, and then I'd react to that. I'd respond. We could have like 7 dimensions down reactions. I should start doing reaction whenever I get those like reactions where it's like 3 deep. I'll just hop on there and we'll make it go even further. We'll get further in. I want to talk about the reactors. Right? I mean, like, how do some of these reactors balance 3 different storylines, 3 different timelines? And like, have you ever had like a chain where it's never that's with none of the 2 people repeating? Like sometimes it's just backs and forths, right? Ooh, like Kent Hovind versus Gutsick Gibbon. I think they had a lot of those where I'm watching. I've got it's Gutsick Gibbon. She's watching Kent Hovind. Kent Hovind's watching Gutsick Gibbon. and in that one, Gutsick Gibbon's watching Kent Hovind. And so you just hear like Kent Hovind's like, "Oh, that man lived with the dinosaurs." And then pause, and then Gutsick Gibbon's like, "No, they're separated by billions of years. You fucking moron." And then like that pauses. And then Kent Hovind's like, "You see, she uses foul language because she loves the devil and she loves sin." And then that pauses, and then it's Gutsick Gibbon again, and she's like, "Hey, this guy's a fucking dick. He doesn't ever answer the question. He just moves on to another argument." Oh, it's kind of funny. It just kind of. I love recursive stories, right? That's kind of what it is. We can get this recursive YouTube moments. It's a good kind of video. Maybe like condense a lot of like beefs and things going on. I hope there's more of this. I want more people to communicate through long form reaction videos and takedown videos. Like response videos where cuz basically if you just react to the video, you can pretty much like do like a in the moment rebuttal to most of it, and that I think would highly influence your score in the total beef war that would happen, right? I want creators to. So, for example, a Destiny nuke. If Destiny were to make a nuke back at this guy, I think I would have to watch that. Cause that sounds like that'd be some dog shit right there. You know? I kinda hope he'll try to do it. I kinda hope he'll try to make a manifesto. You know what's another thing? We gotta watch the debate they had. He said that he lost a debate to Destiny. And we're gonna check that out. Oh my god, is that Vosh? How is Vosh involved in this? Ugh. Who's gonna content nuke Vosh? Has there been one? Let me know if you know about a content nuke on Vosh. I don't know much about him, except the little bit I do. Going into this, I have not been a fan of Debate Bros whatsoever. Right? It was Hassan, it was Destiny, it was Vosh. Any of these so-called like leftist guys were never people that I like cared to watch or listen to whatsoever when engaging and learning about leftist politics. They just weren't trustworthy sources. It's just like guys who like just a couple months before were like alt-right. It's like, what? I'm not saying any of these guys specifically, but it's like the kind of stories I heard. There's a lot of these guys who were like, well, I used to be an anti-SJW, and then I kind of like changed my position. I used facts and logic to reason my new position. And now I argue on this side. And it's like, it's like, yeah, I mean, if all you care about is winning arguments, you're going to likely, I mean, in some cases you don't, but a lot of them just go ahead and try to get the correct arguments on whatever button issue specifically. Like there were times when I heard Destiny where he's like, yeah, I'm going to change to like the more liberal position, which in general, it went up against the conservative position, is going to lean more to the true, to like really happen side of the scale. You know, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's get on with this content nuke. He harms women again. He sucks so bad.
Finish out the
Oh, so
video by
bad.
talking about Destiny's treatment towards women in more recent years. A little while ago, Destiny admitted that he was psychologically abusive towards his ex-wife.
This is probably just going to be Melina venting about her relationship with me to Bob. Listen, okay? I've said it a million times. I'm a very fucking hard person to date. I work a fuck ton, and I'm very fucking cold. I have a really hard time dealing with people when they get emotional, okay? But if Melina starts crying or we're having an argument, I'll say, like, listen, I'm going to go play fucking Minecraft. Like, come talk to me when you're done crying, because I can't sit here and listen to you cry. I'm wasting the few fucking minutes.
He does play Minecraft. He said, I'm going to go play Minecraft. Do you hear how his voice gets this? Whenever, like, a man accuses women of being emotional, they're suppressing their emotions. Quite emotional, they are, but like just that word for whatever reason, it's able to summarize. It's a blank word, right? We've talked about blank words. Hello, I work at company. I am employee and I do tasks. It doesn't tell you anything about anything. Emotional. Well, what fucking emotion? Sadness? Betrayal? Disappointment? Fear? You know, there's a lot of emotions. Anger? Frustration? Like, those are many things that you're tucking under your, just under the surface, are called emotions. So you are emotional. It's like calling someone earthly. If you're going to be like this, I don't want to meet some like earthly person. Someone who's like from the earth or like, you know, participates in earth culture. That's what you are. That's what you have. That's what you do. And be emotional. I can't stand when she's emotional, so I just isolate myself and play Minecraft. Fucking dipshit. Is that like a retired basketball player who plays like foosball to pass the time? Is that the equivalent of him? He was like a StarCraft, from StarCraft to Minecraft. It's my understanding that those are wildly different games, right? And I know one can play wildly different games, but I don't know. There's something fucking fishy about that. And the fact that he's casting it on like, oh, if she has a problem because she's emotional and she's like trying to talk to me but she's crying, I just fuck off and don't listen to her at all. I don't listen to a goddamn word she says if there's tears coming out of her eyes. That's how cool I am. Granted, he's saying that he's hard to deal with, but stop it. Stop it right now.
I have in the day. I'm not gonna sit here unless you cry doing it. Like, so anybody that survives a relationship with me for more than like 6 months, okay, props to that person because they're going through some severe fucking psychological abuse.
Hey, props to that person because you're going through severe psychological abuse. You fucking monster, man.
All right. It's a fucking hard thing to deal with. I'm not joking.
Maybe Destiny's fans would claim that he was being hyperbolic here and he wasn't actually admitting to being abusive. But here's his best friend Dan also saying that Destiny was really shitty towards his ex-wife.
I'll say this also. I think Steven was a fucking really shitty husband to Melina. Okay? I'm coming out here saying it right now. I don't think Steve would deny it either. But it's not good. The way that he was. Like, I talked with Melina a lot of times, and she was crying and miserable and everything else. And Steve would say, what do you want me to say?
This is so shitty. Because if he's like, I am knowingly abusive to anyone who gets in a relationship with me, then don't get into relationships. Just don't fucking do that. You don't have to. Nobody's making you do that. They legally cannot make you get in a relationship with anybody. You can live the romance-free lifestyle. Romance-free. Have you tried it? It's fucking great. That's literally a thing you can do. Nobody can tell you that you have to date somebody. That's my thing. I mean, the difference, I don't think I'd make a great partner. I don't think someone would be happy with me because of many reasons. I'm not seeking a partner. And I'm not like letting anyone like it's not someone doesn't just get in a relationship with you. You like do work to like establish a relationship with somebody. Right? So if I feel like I'm not ready to like be anything for anybody, I just don't be in a relationship. I just do the opposite. Just sit down. Whatever we're about to get up and go do. Well, fuck, he has a child. Jesus Christ, he's got a fucking child. He's like a teenager now.
Say I'm a selfish motherfucker. That's why I'm in the relationship that I'm in, the way that I do things that I'm in. And Melina like really was hurt by it. And I think like she was like, you know, what should I do? Should I leave? And I'll tell you this, I never was like, I was never like, no, you should stay and make things out. I told her multiple times, like, listen, if you feel like this is an abusive relationship, get the fuck out of there immediately.
Melina herself has also accused Destiny of being psychologically abusive towards her.
I'm irritated by a couple things. One thing I'm irritated about is that my ex-wife has reached out to a ton of people. At least 5 mutual friends have alerted me. I have no idea how many other are affected.
What a bunch of fucking dickheads. The 5 people who snitched when his ex came to them in confidence to talk about the abuse that he was doing, and you fucking snitched to him. You fucking scum. You suck so bad. Off. Get off. Away. You know where. The land of wolves and spiders. Go there.
Saying that I've lied about a ton of stuff and that I am abusive.
So Destiny has said that he was psychologically abusive towards Melina. Melina has said that Destiny was psychologically abusive towards Melina. And Destiny's best friend Dan also seems to think that Destiny was psychologically abusive towards Melina. I wonder if maybe Destiny was psychologically abusive towards Melina. Destiny seems to think that as long as he's like, yep, I'm an abuser, deal with it.
Because they're going through some severe fucking psychological abuse, all right? It's a fucking hard thing to deal with. I'm not joking.
That he can just move on from this and sweep it under the rug, but I don't believe he should be allowed to do this. And I don't understand why any woman would ever want to associate with Destiny after seeing shit like this. Destiny not only has a history of allegedly being abusive himself, he also has a history of surrounding himself with other abusive men. Years ago, the streamer Vosh was exposed by Destiny for sexually harassing a woman named Poppy.
Yeah, so the problem is that we've gotten these complaints for like, I think about a year, where like you've been like really sexually aggressive from a variety of people.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, the worst thing is that you engage in a repeatable pattern of behavior where you try to be very sexually aggressive towards a lot of the women in chat in order to make them uncomfortable enough to send you pictures, and then if they don't, you either act very aggressive towards them, like by telling them that you can't continue conversations anymore, or you continue to sexually harass them until they either give in or block you or go crazy or whatever.
It hasn't, I mean, none of this has happened. That's an extrapolation that you...
This is a twist I didn't expect. I was just saying, who did a nuke on Vosh? It was fucking Destiny. It's like in a video game when the NPC bosses, enemies, have friendly fire and 2 of them just like take out each other. Or one, you know, one of them takes out one of their own. Huh. It's weird that Destiny is cultivating this audience by teaching them these values, yet they just look the other way when he does it.
Give in or block you or go crazy or whatever.
It hasn't, I mean, none of this has happened. That's an extrapolation that you can make based on Poppy.
But even after Destiny found out that Vosh had sexually harassed her, he still decided to be friends with him and platform him and help him start his career. And now, years later, because of Destiny's actions, all of us have had to endure learning about Vosh's horse fetish and his short stack goblin porn. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't look into it.
This is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Later on, after Destiny's relationship with Vosh fell apart, Destiny decided to become friends with a racist rapist named Mr. Girl. And Mr. Girl is not allegedly a rapist, he is a rapist. He posted a video openly admitting to raping a woman.
A couple years ago, I matched with a woman on Tinder. I say woman because she was 46. Anyway, we got frozen yogurt. She came over. We got naked. I got naked. Then we both got naked. We started making out. Sex kind of makes me anxious, so I don't like a ton of foreplay. To me, it should be like tearing off a Band-Aid, right? I'm trying to be patient. Finally, I get her on top of me. I put my dick in place, like right at her vagina, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. She holds perfectly still and says, I'm not ready. Clear as day, no mistaking her meaning. She doesn't consent. But she has this look in her eye, like she's daring me to just push it in. Like I'm some kind of pussy if I don't. I could have been imagining that, but I grabbed her shoulders and pushed her down onto my dick.
I fucked her.
Did she like that I did that? I think so. But she probably had mixed feelings about it. Was it rape? Yes, I guess. I don't know. She told me not to, and I did it anyway. That makes it rape.
I don't know what went through Mr. Girl's head that he thought it was a good idea to openly admit to raping someone on the internet, but that's Mr. Girl for you. Mr. Girl is most well known for his review of the movie Cuties, where he said that he found the 10-year-old girls in that movie hot.
And it juxtaposes these amazing scenes where it's like you'll see the girls playing on a bed where they're stuffing gummy bears in their mouths and they're just totally children. And then you'll see them shaking their booties on this stairway as they make this this viral video, and they're pretty hot.
10 years old is 5 years too young for Destiny's taste, but he decided to become friends with Mr. Girl anyway. Mr. Girl also released a bunch of videos where he was like emotionally abusing his girlfriend on camera. After they had been friends for a while, Destiny and Mr. Girl got into some drama because Destiny had banned Mr. Girl from Destiny's subreddit because Mr. Girl was criticizing Destiny for the way that he had defended Nick Fuentes. And then a few months after this, Mr. Girl released a report called the Destiny Report, where he outlined all of the ways that he believes Destiny is an abuser. Most people ignored this report because they didn't really care to listen to a potential abusive pedophile rapist give his opinions on why he thinks Destiny is abusive. The report was also over 100,000 words long, and it was terribly formatted, and honestly, no one had time to read all that shit. And while I personally think that Mr. Girl is a disgusting weirdo, I do think he made a couple decent points in his report. Mr. Girl's main perspective is that he believes Destiny has a pattern of being abusive towards the women in his orbit. And now that we've seen evidence that Destiny has been sharing sex tapes of his orbiters and his ex-wife behind their back without their consent, I think this adds some credence to the idea that there might be a pattern of abuse happening here. In my opinion, Destiny kind of reminds me of the character of Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if Dennis was shorter and scrawnier and more annoying.
I didn't know I was being filmed. If you're in my room, you're always being filmed.
You are.
He does.
True.
He does.
It's his thing. It's kind of creepy.
In case you haven't seen the show, the character Dennis is known for being a psychopath who's incredibly good at manipulating women.
Oh, look, I'm not narcissistic. That's good. I told you guys I was humble. We're a bit Machiavellian, a bit not psychotic. Psychopath, a bit psychopathic. That's what I'm looking for.
The most famous clip of Dennis is where he explains that if you take a woman out on a boat with you, she won't say no to having sex with you because of the implication.
The whole purpose of buying the boat in the first place was to get the ladies nice and tipsy topside so we can take them to a nice, comfortable place below deck and, you know, they can't refuse because of the implication.
Oh, okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
Well, dude, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. You know, she looks around her. What does she see? Nothing but open ocean. There's nowhere for me to run. What am I gonna do? Say no?
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Well, in 2020, Destiny explains that he doesn't think it would be good for someone who has a large online platform to be sexting the women who he has as guests on his show because of the implication.
Let's say that I run like a really big podcast. I get 30,000 viewers. Let's say that I have a podcast. I got 30,000 viewers. Let's say that there's a girl that messages me. We talk for a little bit and she really wants to be on. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, you really want to come on a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I could probably start sexting her and she'll probably give in and send me nudes and shit because she doesn't want to lose that opportunity. She might not actually want to. She might not be into it really at all. But if I start propositioning her, if she says no to me, she might worry like, fuck, like if I say no to this guy, like I'm not going to make it on that podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then are you wrong for asking in that case, even though you saw it?
I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
However, as we now know, Destiny has a long history of doing this exact thing to the women who are guests on his show.
I don't like the idea that we're normalizing, you know, someone bringing in a bunch of small content creators that are women, fucking them, right? And then when that fallout inevitably happens, like, just cast them away. Like, it's a really weird dynamic. I work with women, and I'm happy with the fact that it's professional. And that needs to be a standard that we set for more people, because I hate the idea that I just show up on screen with a woman, and it's automatically sex. But can I really be mad at an audience for thinking that when I hang out with Steven, who literally fucks pretty much everybody he works with?
It is possible that like you are like a very like mature person, and even if they turned you down, you're still cool with them being on your podcast. Like there are some people like that, but like not everybody, no one knows. That's the problem. Nobody can ever know that if you're actually that kind of person. That's why it's like a very hazy area where you can't really consent in that situation because you don't really know.
So on the one hand, he is saying that you shouldn't sext with women who are guests on your show because they can't fully consent, and on the other hand, he is sexting with most of the women who are guests on his show and sharing around their sex tapes without their consent. A woman named Lav came forward and said that she felt pressured to send Destiny feet pics in exchange for being a guest on his stream.
At least in my case, I was so desperate to get out of sex work, and I told him that, and he said, why don't you stream with me? This can open up an avenue where like you don't have to do what you hate to do. And I'm a political streamer. You can get into politics, like fully extending himself to me in a way that was like very friendly. And then it turned into something like, oh, right after that conversation, he was like, oh, by the way, I don't see any feet on your profile. He. Like immediately after.
Apparently, after she sent him feet pics, he said, welcome to the Orbiters Club, implying that sending her feet pics is what will give her the chance to be Orbiters Club, implying after she sent
her profile, he, like immediately after.
Apparently, after she sent him feet pics, he said, welcome to the Orbiters Club, implying that sending her feet pics is what will give her the chance to be one of his orbiters. Now, Destiny claims that this was a completely ironic joke and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously whatsoever, but if Destiny himself has said that he shouldn't be sexting his orbiters because of the implication, and then he sexts his orbiters and then says, welcome to the Orbiter Club, I am struggling to see how this is a joke. And even if it was intended as a joke, like Destiny explained in this previous clip, you shouldn't be making jokes like this because the person on the receiving end might not understand that you're joking. It seems strange to me that Destiny had this incredibly nuanced view of consent a couple years ago, but then once he wanted to start sexting people, all of these rules that he set for himself went out the window.
Now, again, there are exceptions. Maybe you're friends with this person for 10 years or some shit, and you guys have like some, like, it could be like very niche. I don't want to say like every single time, but like as a blanket rule, if you even have to stop and think about this, you should just not do it. It's just a bad idea.
Later on, Lav accused Destiny of being the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube because she felt like Destiny had a pattern of manipulating the women in his orbit into doing sexual favors for him, and because she felt like it was emotionally abusive that every woman who came on Destiny's stream would inevitably be flooded with hate comments on his subreddit, which Destiny would refuse to take down. If you come onto Destiny's stream as a woman, you can be pretty safe to assume that you are gonna get a bunch of hate comments on Destiny's subreddit. But according to Destiny's community, it's not because they hate women, it's just because these particular women all happen to be too stupid to debate their daddy Destiny. One time, Destiny's head moderator of his subreddit named Forethought sent one of his female orbiters the message, Kelly Jean, stop pretending like you're hurt by sexism. Your greatest aspiration was being an esports victim. Holy fuck, no wonder you wish you got raped. You've got literally nothing going on to be doing this at 40. After seeing these messages, Destiny refused to remove Forethought as a moderator of his subreddit.
But the whole idea is that if there's no wrong way to treat Kelly Jean or whatever, if that's her mentality when it comes to her, who's to say that doesn't expand to other people?
Like, can we just why is it okay to do whatever you want
To Kelly Jean.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to ask Destiny that.
I mean, it's Kelly Jean.
It's not that.
Yeah, but if you have that mentality, Destiny, then yeah, he's gonna copy it, isn't he?
I also really like a lot of these. When we watched the intro, it was really good, but if you had to be really fair, it was a lot of these out of context things where I didn't know what was happening before or what was leading up to it. But he delivers it. I remember seeing a little bit of these clips from that very, very intro where I was like, these are out of context. We don't know the full story. Well, now we're getting the full story. Ryan Beard, the true Papa Bless. All right? I'm calling it now. Papa Bless has been stripped from Ethan. Ryan, new Papa. New Papa Ryan Beard.
I wonder why
Ryan the Beardless Beard.
Women don't always feel comfortable on Destiny's subreddit. At the time, Destiny and his community absolutely tore Lav to shreds because they didn't think that she had enough evidence to substantiate the claim that Destiny was the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube. One time when Lav was in the hospital, Destiny sent to his public chat, like, I wish this person would just kill themselves already or fuck off from my shit forever. Destiny even one time shared with his public chat that there was a Kiwi Farms thread being made about Lav. In case you don't know, Kiwi Farms is a message board that is famous for doxing and harassing people they don't like. So by sending Destiny's community to her Kiwi Farms page, Destiny was essentially doxing her. To be clear, I'm not trying to 100% defend Lav here. I think that some of the negative comments about her debating were accurate. I don't think she's a particularly good debater. I also don't think that she necessarily had enough evidence to back up the claim that Destiny is the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube. Although these days I do think there is a lot more evidence pointing to that being the case. She also one time claimed that Hassan had slept.
It's like these things when like if the trope in crime shows or whatever is a criminal who keeps getting away with it, gets off on a technicality, the cops don't have any evidence, so he's back on the street, we gotta let him go, we got nothing on him, oh, someone tried to get a case but it fell apart, she didn't have all the info, right? Because a lot of these people who kind of went after Destiny early on were absolutely 100% in the right. They just didn't have the power or the influence to sort of get everyone all kind of collecting this information together, doing some intelligence reporting, right? It takes people like this to sort of put it all together for us. Good job, Ryan. I've given him many accolades, but I got to give it up to him. He's absolutely killing this.
Slept with a 17-year-old, which she didn't have any evidence to back up, and then Hassan ended up tearing her to shreds for that. And since then, she has become a TERF who says a bunch of racist and transphobic shit on Twitter. However, I do still think that the treatment she endured from Destiny's community was insane. Being a bad person does not disqualify you from being abused. And if a woman feels like she's being abused by you and your community, I don't think a good way to prove that you're actually not abusive is by telling her to kill herself and doxing her. Destiny's community wrote off Lav as mentally unstable and insane, and because both her and Mr. Girl were widely hated by
Mr. Facts and Logic, what do those two words mean? And can you prove it in a court of law? Does that fit the specific definitional requirement? Mentally unwell and insane. Like, those are all nonsense words. You see how they love to be like facts and logic here and then just emotion bullshit there? Like, she's actually fucking psychotic. Like, the amount he throws around the word crazy, psychotic, or the R word, as if that's just, and the way he's using it, if I had to translate this into an alien language, I would translate it as like, but they are people who always make irrational choices. Those people's minds do nothing but irrational thinking. These people are not worth listening to. These people's messages should not be relied upon. Because those people are and we use a word here referencing a specific group of individuals with medical diagnosis, crazy. If their point is like, don't listen to them, they're crazy, what's your argument? I mean, dear Lord, it wouldn't be one of those ad hominems. A lot of people think ad hominems are just when you insult someone at the same time that you're arguing with them. That is not true. An ad hominem argument is a logical fallacy where you say, she's crazy, don't listen to her. Or her claims are wrong because she's crazy, right? That's not true. That doesn't follow logically. Just because someone's crazy doesn't mean 100% of everything they say is not true. Even if someone was like completely dissociated or in a state of just not being, aware of reality, is not going to just tell lies. So it's just like a stupid non-argument with 2 to 3 different words that are just stuck to people. When you take a word like, well, she's just crazy. It's just this word you just stick to people, and you're just like, this person's brain is like beyond repair. This person is dead set on doing terrible things, has bad intentions, lacks understanding, cannot accomplish things on their own. Don't listen to them. Don't do what they say.
By most people on the internet, most people ignored their allegations that Destiny was abusive. Destiny has a long history of bringing mentally ill women onto his stream, to the point where it's a meme in his community that all of the women on Destiny's stream have BPD.
An army of BPDE girls catching a whiff of clout in the air. What is BPD? D-man, I'm fine. This is the last toxic holdover I have from my past, so from here, it's all good for me. Clout in the air.
Destiny himself has said that he's most attracted to women who he considers mentally unstable.
This dude really has a penchant for going after mentally ill women, okay? Women with like severe depression, and a lot of them got like self-diagnosed BPD or some bullshit. Like, he just likes that. I don't know. To me, the fact that there's a pattern with a lot of these girls is a bit weird.
But the question is, does Destiny just happen to attract a bunch of men?
It's borderline personality disorder, I think, is what they mean. BPD-E women? All right.
Mentally unstable women to his stream, or does he purposefully attract mentally unstable women because he knows they are more easy to abuse? Another mentally ill woman that Destiny had a long conflict with was a woman named Anna. Just like with Lav, Destiny also encouraged his community to go to Anna's Kiwi Farms thread, and he encouraged them to post in her thread.
Oh, okay. Also, heads up. This is my only non-media blackout time, okay? This is my only non-media blackout time. I will immediately go back to this, okay? Somebody on Kiwi Farms has made a thread of Anna. So
this is my only non-media blackout time. This is my only non-media blackout time. What the fuck does that mean? Non-media blackout time. Blackout? Does that mean blackout drunk? Forgot what happened? You did something and you didn't remember doing it? Is he gonna be like, oh, I had 7 drinks for the first time again?
So if you are obsessed with Anna and you want to talk about her all the time, you, chatter, you can actually go to Kiwi Farms and you can go and post all you want, read all you want. Go there, post about it, talk about it. People put a lot of effort into categorizing and archiving everything. There you go, okay?
And in the thread about Anna that Destiny encouraged his fans to go message, they doxed Anna. And it was later revealed that at this...
He did this likely in retaliation for something she'd said about him on stream, explaining their DM exchange below, despite being on relatively good terms and having just being sexted 2 days prior. You fucking disgusting fuck, man. He's such a piece of shit.
There you go, okay?
And in the thread about Anna that Destiny encouraged his fans to go message, they doxed Anna. And it was later revealed that at this time, Destiny was secretly in an ongoing sexual relationship with Anna.
So you acknowledge that you've been sexting with her for a year?
I think, yeah, we've had on and off, sure.
In response to this, Anna texted...
You're doing it to yourself. You're going to keep doing it to yourself. Just fucking, I mean, it's just textbook victim victim abuser reversal. He's trying to make himself the victim, make her the perpetrator of her own danger.
Destiny.
Like, he doxes her. And she's like, you doxed me on your stream, fuck you. Actually, if you think about it, you doxed yourself. By coming after me, you forced my hand. I had no other choice. Come on, please. Don't tell me you didn't know that I would retaliate like this. Please. You knew if you crossed that line, I would have no choice but to dox you. You practically walked into the trap. I had a big red arrow pointing down to it. You're too stupid to see it. That's the problem. If you can't anticipate my revenge against you for opening your stupid mouth, see what you get? What a fucking psychopath.
You literally ruined my fucking life. You just doxed me on your stream. Fuck you. You put me in danger. And Destiny responded to this by saying, you're doing it to yourself and you're going to keep doing it to yourself. This is one of the most insane things I have ever seen in my entire life. Choosing to dox a woman you are actively sexting with just because she pissed you off. I guess if you want to live life by Destiny's rules, if your wife or girlfriend or friends with benefits ever pisses you off, why not just dox her to hundreds of thousands of people? I also want to be clear that I'm not defending Anna. Anna also has a long history of harassing Steven, which is obviously not good.
None of that matters.
Destiny also
None of that matters. I don't care if any of these victims were terrible, terrible people. He's still did what he fucking did. It's absolutely irrelevant what any of these victims they did involving other people that didn't involve Destiny, or anything they did to retaliate against him for it, such as opening their fucking mouths, such as writing about what happened. I don't care if they're like, oh, maybe it's not fair to really compare him to Harvey Weinstein. We don't want to minimize the harm that Harvey Weinstein did. Like, hey, the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, this motherfucker's gonna wear it. And these are snug shoes. They fit fine. You want to take a walk around with, just jog a little bit with them, make sure that the back doesn't fall down under the. Yeah, see, they're perfect. Shoe fucking fits. All right. Oh boy.
Treated Anna like garbage. He not only doxed her, but he also threatened to leak her nudes when she threatened to leak sext messages between the two of them to prove that Destiny had been lying about her.
So do you think that leaking sexting and leaking nudes is proportional, or do you think it's a proportional response in the way that you're reacting to that?
I think it's about proportional. Yeah. Thanks.
You don't think that she has more to lose in that scenario?
It also just strikes me that I'm just learning about this shit now, but this hasn't been a secret. Like, clearly he's talking to some dude who's like, I'm going to talk to you about this and challenge you about this. So obviously, like, there's some buzz going on. Like, people actually, and he's just like, yeah, I did it. So it's not even like a question of like building a case. Case is built.
Like, you think that people were going...
Oh,
like,
I mean, she could have more to lose, but I just don't see the huge difference between, like, sex and nudes. Like, you're leaking, like, personal, like, sexual shit that somebody sent you and, like, trusted you with. Like, in my opinion, this is, like, one of the biggest forms of, like, weird, like, backstabbing shit that you can do. It's, like, one of the worst things a person can do is, like, leaking, like, private sexual shit like that.
I love you, Tom.
Looking back at Destiny's streams from over the years, I found at least 20 different women who had allegedly had some sort of sexual relationship with Destiny at some point, and I found at least 15 different previous female orbiters who now all hate Destiny's guts, and Destiny now labels them as crazy. The fact that Destiny has had sex with a bunch of his orbiters and now a bunch of them hate him doesn't necessarily prove abuse, but what I do know is that Destiny is not living by the standard he expects other people to live by. Again, he said himself that you should not sext people who are guests on your platform because they might not be able to fully consent because of the implication.
I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
And at the very least, he has totally and utterly failed at living up to this standard of conduct that he expects other people to live by. I think we would need more evidence to concretely prove that Destiny's stream really is this system of abuse, but all I know is that there are at least 4 alleged victims and a whole host of other women who absolutely hate Destiny's guts, so I would recommend that women should stay as far away from Destiny's community as possible.
If you know that the people you're going to be involved with are only short-term partners, and you constantly see the after effect of most of your hookups and your interactions leaving a trail of broken hearts and disappointed people, that's a moral failing.
Alright, let's recap all of Destiny's treatment towards women. Destiny sexually assaulted a woman. Destiny has a long history of sharing women's nudes and sex tapes without their consent. Destiny allegedly recorded a woman having sex with him without her consent. And in his messages to his Discord kitten Rose is Coming, he sent her audio recordings of men that he had slept with from from Grindr and said, "I went out and sucked a guy off a few nights ago and recorded the audio. It's really scuffed in my pocket, lol. Did I ever send it to you?" If he was recording the audio from his pocket, it sure doesn't sound like that audio was recorded consensually, does it? Maybe he did ask if he could record him, but then he put the phone back in his pocket where the audio would sound terrible for some reason, but I highly, highly, highly doubt that. And if he was recording men from Grindr without their knowledge, it's also very easy to believe that he was recording Cherry without her knowledge. He has a history of calling 15-year-olds attractive and sharing pictures of them in bikinis. He has a long history of getting very mad at women when they post about their sexual assaults on social media. He has allegedly abused at least one of his female orbiters and was psychologically abusive towards his ex-wife, and he also admitted to choking out another one of his exes multiple times. However, he claims that this was done in self-defense.
Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times.
Finally, Destiny has a history of doxing and threatening to leak the nudes of women that get on his bad side. I find this incredibly ironic because in his Keffels manifesto, he says that progressives believe there's no such thing as bad tactics, only bad targets.
And what comes of the belief that there are no bad tactics, only bad targets?
Well, if you ask me, doxing women and threatening to leak their nudes is the definition of bad tactics that you should not be doing even if you think that woman is a valid target. If you add up all of these allegations, I think it's time to consider that maybe Destiny is just not a good fucking person. Maybe he's your typical male feminist and all of the liberal bullshit that he spews on his platform is just him trying to get into women's pants. Before it had been publicly exposed that Destiny had shared Pixie's sex tapes without her consent, in private he acknowledged that he had severely, at the very least psychologically, damaged her. But once Pixie came out with her allegations publicly and announced that she was planning to sue Destiny, he went back to his old defensive ways and took accountability for nothing. He posted to his subreddit, "Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways, such wow," which is the most millennial cringe way possible to respond.
What is that dog shit? Roll it back. We're gonna roll that bullshit back up the hill. I want to take a look at that. Neo Destiny. Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways. Such wow. Okay. Was there a picture of a Chinese dog? Is that the such wow thing? Is this his entire statement? Let me go back.
He acknowledged that he had severely, at the very least psychologically, damaged her. But once Pixie came out with her allegations publicly and announced that she was planning to sue Destiny, he went back to his old defensive ways and took accountability for nothing. He posted to his subreddit, "Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways, such wow," which is the most millennial cringe way possible to respond to allegations of sex crimes. In this post, he never takes direct accountability for sharing Pixie's sex tapes with Rose's Coming without her consent, and instead he focuses on how he's a victim too because his nudes were also leaked by the hacker that apparently hacked Rose Is Coming. Obviously, Destiny is also a victim in this situation, but I struggle to find empathy for him because he refuses to take accountability for sharing the sex tapes non-consensually in the first place, which led to this entire mess. He also talks about how Pixie was asking him for a large amount of money because she was trying to teach him a lesson, and I don't necessarily see anything wrong with her wanting to teach Destiny a lesson. Maybe he needs to be taught a lesson. Pixie made the point that unless there are some real consequences to Destiny for doing this, he'll probably just do it again in the future, which I agree with. Destiny later sent to his public chat, "Pixie and the people behind her just..."
What the fuck is this? Aufheben Pixie and the people behind her just want money, so there's no point in...
just want money. Yet, this is a blatant lie because she made it...
Okay, this is Pixie writing. other than jail, or even more than jail from the studies I've read, money is the strongest reinforcer, and losing it is the strongest punishment. I do not believe he will stop his actions unless he faces some level of punishment. Yeah, interesting. Losing money might be a stronger reinforcer than jail. I mean, if you go to jail, you're going to lose money anyway, you know? That's losing. That costs money to you to go to jail. You have to, if you go to prison or anything like that, they like count up all the meals you ate and all the nights you slept in their beds, and they fucking charge you for it. You have to pay that shit when you get out, or like before you get out. It's fucking crazy.
She made it abundantly clear to Steven that she would be willing to donate the money he gave her to charity. So just like usual, Destiny is attempting to smear his victim in order to silence her, even though in my opinion, Pixie has done absolutely nothing wrong. And I think this
Alright, this is the same message. But yeah, this is one of those arguments that like you have to like prove in court, I guess, that like you're just doing this for the money. It's like, no, Steven, I'm just doing this and I happen to get money for it, but I'm not doing it because I get money for it. You see that little tricky wordplay we can do against you now?
shows incredible moral character on Pixie's part that she's even willing to donate this money to charity, because I don't think she has any obligation to do this. But even with Pixie being basically the quote-unquote perfect victim, Destiny still decides to smear her. My favorite sentence from this post is when Destiny says, "I have been trying to move on from covering drama content as it has had an increasingly negative impact on those in my life."
That's rich. I haven't spoken up publicly regarding this situation for a few reasons. I'm actively pursuing criminal and civil litigation on these matters against multiple parties. He's pursuing criminal litigation? He's pursuing civil litigation, right? This word, this "and" means there are two types of litigation. Is he a fucking district attorney? Does that mean you're like reporting her for crimes? Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all of the victims involved. Which harms all the victims involved. Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them. You know, I mean, I'm like, he doesn't need to speak publicly about this. He needs to say it under oath. Anything he's saying, he is writing this publicly, and all of this can be used against him. All the shit he talks, all this, anything he's saying on the stream now and has said before is all going to be used in court against him. They're gonna put up a TV or a screen, and they're gonna play little clips. They're gonna play all the clips we saw today. They'll play clips for 7 hours. And they'll basically do like, I guess the equivalent, like if this was like a 10 megaton nuke, they do like 50 megaton nuke. Just probably a lot of the same structure of this as just background, and then getting way more into the specifics of Pixie. But they'll probably touch on a lot of the points that were in this sort of nuke. They'll build. They'll fry his ass, and then he can go and speak out publicly when he's on the fucking bench and he's getting cross-examined and he can't wiggle out with his stupid little bullshit. No, not because she was 15, but she just happened to be 15. No further questions, Your Honor.
Bitch, you loved covering drama content when it was other people's heads on the chopping block, but now you want to stop covering drama once your head is on the chopping block. After this, Destiny sent some messages to his chat that were even more defensive. I have never done anything maliciously, as any of the fucking insane allegations say. That's fucking retarded. My only crime was being too much of a gooner in 2023 and earlier, 100% sure. Though again, I can't say anything specifically because everyone wants to come at me in court now, I guess.
Everyone wants to come at me in court now, I guess. That's the most guilty fucking shit I've ever heard in my life.
When he says that he didn't do anything maliciously, I think he means that he didn't intend for Pixie's nudes to ever get leaked to the public. But I would argue that non-consensually sending her sex tapes in the first place was malicious in and of itself. And again, I think Destiny would agree with me that sharing the nudes in and of itself is malicious, because he said that when Bob7 allegedly did the same thing, this should be life-destroying.
But I do believe that these are relatively life-destroying revelations.
And you are not fucking stupid, Destiny. You know that if you're sending around sex tapes to random 19-year-old e-girls, eventually something is going to get leaked.
You know, actually, one of the craziest parts about this whole story is the fact that Destiny trusted a 19-year-old Discord lady, okay, named Rose is Coming, with sex tapes of other people in his life. Nigga. If that's not compromised judgment, I don't know what the fuck is, okay?
Also, your only crime is being too much of a gooner? Destiny's just a little bit of a goofy gooner. It's not like he committed any serious sex crimes. He's just a little gooner goblin. Look at my gooner goblin over there in the corner gooning. As usual, every single thing that Destiny says is an attempt to downplay, and refuse to take any fucking accountability. Then Destiny sent this to his chat. Bro, if I need to go on the sex offender list, I'm taking like 20 other streamers with me, okay? Lol W. Again, trying to deflect from taking responsibility by saying that a bunch of other streamers have done the same shit. If other streamers have done the same shit, then yeah, maybe they should be on the sex offender registry. Recently, another clip of Destiny resurfaced where he talked about how he knew that a bunch of different streamers had committed sex crimes against children, but he just didn't care to expose any of them.
Like, everybody's gotten pics and more from underage chicks, depending on what you've heard in different communities. No, let me finish. In the esports community, okay, everybody has been involved in that shit, okay? And so, there have been people that have gone way farther than that.
Do you know people in the esports community?
I'm not going down that road. There's tons of rumors.
No, wait a minute. If you're saying you have knowledge of a crime and you're not willing to bring it forward.
Well, people talk about it, but like I don't have the means to go and acquire the evidence to like name names and name victims.
Break
and like find
Dorito Gate right now, Destiny. Come on.
Let's hear it, dude. This is not my job. Listen, okay, I'm gonna be frank. I'm not gonna suicide my fucking career to go on some fucking vendetta against a bunch of fucking video game guys, okay? This is not my life.
But now that his head is on the chopping block, I guess maybe he'll finally expose these abusers that he's been covering for years. And the last thing that Destiny has posted at the time of this recording was an absolutely hilarious meme on Twitter where he said, "Korean barbecue is a little overrated, but I've always loved the short rib at this place." And it's a picture of a Korean restaurant called Goon Barbecue. Again, implying that he's just too much of a gooner because gooner sounds a lot better than sex criminal. He is choosing to be his same old self, making jokes instead of taking accountability. This motherfucker has the absolute gall to release an entire manifesto about how Keffals needs to take accountability for her actions, but then once he's in shit, he takes absolutely no fucking accountability for his actions. Like, is this dude an actual fucking baby? Are you a child? In what fucking world is this the right way to respond to the fact that you violated one of your friends and, in your own words, severely psychologically damaged her? Never in a million years could I imagine being a soulless, heartless piece of shit like this who treats my best friends like actual human garbage. And for you to get up on your high horse and act like you're the moral police of the universe who has any place to judge other people while acting like this is fucking insane.
You know, with this whole situation, I don't think Steven shared this because he thought it was okay to share. I personally believe, this is my theory, that he shared this because he just didn't care and he didn't think that the other person would ever find out. And that to me is almost worse, because it shows that you don't care about the people you slept with and who shared that intimate moment with you and recorded it. And it shows to me that if you are going to be able to avoid the consequences of it, you'll say and do things behind closed doors that are just unbecoming. And if I'm your friend and I see you do that to your other people that you slept with and you call friends, then I can only imagine that even for me, I might not be safe and I can't trust you. And what I see is another moral failing where it's like, when no one's watching, you're not doing the right thing. You can massage it however you want. It's a shitty thing to share a sex tape, but it's not the worst thing. I'm sorry. That's fucking garbage behavior, okay? It just is. Call it a spade. It's garbage behavior. Don't mush it over because you like your favorite streamer. Don't mush it over because you think he's important politically. It's garbage behavior.
Right before uploading this video, another woman named Stasia just came out with allegations that Destiny shared explicit...
Oh my god. Yeah. This is gonna be out of date. It's already a week old. You know? Holy crap. As stuff came out, I learned that my trust was egregiously violated. A lot of my private stuff and info was in fact sent to multiple people without me being aware or ever having consented. I can't go into more detail. Jesus Christ.
Material of her without her consent, and a woman named Denims just came out with an allegation that Destiny had recorded her without her knowledge. This recording was non-sexual, but apparently it's illegal to record people without their knowledge in that state. Destiny chose to ignore Stasia's allegations for some reason, but in response to Denims' allegations, he sent messages to his public chat threatening to leak the recordings of her in an attempt to silence her, showing that he is still engaging in the exact same behavior as always. So now we have 4 different women who Destiny allegedly shared nudes of without their consent, 1 woman that Destiny sexually assaulted, 1 woman who felt pressured into sending Destiny feet pics, 1 woman who Destiny allegedly recorded sexually without her knowledge, 2 men on Grindr who Destiny allegedly recorded sexually without their knowledge, and 1 woman who was recorded non-sexually without her knowledge, for a grand total of 10 different victims that we know of so far. And this is of course not including the 15-year-old girl that Destiny shared bikini pictures of, or the 8-year-old boy whose penis Destiny stared at. When will Destiny's community, DGG, wake the fuck up and realize that Destiny is just not a good person? I know that I said that I wouldn't focus on my personal beef with Destiny in this video, but I wanted to just point out one thing. I found it really funny that in his Vosh manifesto, he cries about how people online have attacked him for...
So he did a Vosh thing. That's so interesting.
Identifying as non-binary in the past.
Many have attacked me in the past for identifying as a non-binary. I no longer identify this way, even though I've considered different sexual or gender identities and discussed it at length at various points in my stream.
Destiny and his community have been harassing me for years about identifying as non-binary. He said that he doesn't think my identity is real, and he tweeted that I'm faking being trans for clout, and I've had a bunch of his fans come and make fun of me anytime that I post about being non-binary, which made me feel like I had to go back into the closet at one point. But when people attack Destiny for being non-binary,
many have attacked me in the past for identifying as a non-binary.
It really hurts his feelings. This is just another example of Destiny being a hypocritical little bitch who cries when people are mean to him and then turns around and does that exact same shit to other people. If you want to be an asshole to non-binary people, be an asshole to non-binary people. But then don't be a weaselly little bitch who turns around and cries when people are an asshole to you about being non-binary. Destiny is the perfect example of rules for thee, but not for me. He says Bob 7 should have his life destroyed for sharing nudes without consent.
I'm not running around screen sharing people's nudes.
Then he shares nudes without consent. He criticizes Keffals for being a bully while he's the biggest fucking bully on the internet. He cries about how people on the internet have doxed him, and then he turns around and doxes a woman who he is secretly in an active sexual relationship with. He says it's not good to sext women who are on large streams.
I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
And then he turns around and sexts every single fucking woman on his large stream. He says it's super weird to sext 19-year-olds because they're basically children.
You're a little kid.
And then he fucking sexts a 19-year-old. He says we need to hold Keffals responsible for her actions, and then he takes absolutely no fucking responsibility for his actions. My worst crime was being too much of a gooner. If you go back and rewatch this entire video, do you agree with Destiny that his worst crime is just being too much of a gooner? Destiny,
No.
you are not too much of a gooner, you are a sex criminal. To this day, Destiny
Boom.
is still refusing to fully take accountability for his actions, as he has done through every single fucking step of his career. According to Destiny, he really hates weasels. He even has a weasel emote that people spam in his chat whenever someone is trying to weasel their way out of an argument or is refusing to take accountability for their actions. Well, Destiny, I think you should get this emote tattooed on your fucking forehead. You are a weak, pathetic little weasel, and I hope that everyone has finally opened their eyes to how much of a wriggling little weasel you always have been. I hope that after this, you take a long look in the mirror and you realize that you actually have a lot more in common with Keffals than you would ever care to admit to yourself. You have both lied to and scammed your audience. You are both massive bullies. You both aren't afraid to use harmful tactics to get what you want. And most of all, you both have a pathological need to avoid ever taking accountability. So from now on, I shall be referring to you as Keffalstony. How's that for a nuke, buddy? Anything else? Really quick before the video ends,
Holy
I've linked
shit.
the fundraiser.
Holy shit. I was enthralled. Suing Destiny Kenneth Bonnell II. God, it's so expensive to sue people. Link below. All right. Okay, this guy's got what, like 2-3 videos a month, something like that. Hell yeah. But then that's Ryan Beard Productions. This is Ryan Beard. What's the difference? It's the same picture. $29 videos, 131,000. 35 videos, 670,000. What is the difference? Are these are they more spread apart? They're bigger, longer. I don't know, just by the thumbnails, what's the difference between his two YouTube channels? They're not the same videos, but they seem to be like similar kind of stuff. Did this TikToker kill her cat? This woman's gonna kill her baby. Like, what's... And this Destiny one is on the one... Wait, JoJo Sea-Watch Edgy Rebrand. Wasn't that on this one? Oh, it's not. Or is it? Grown ass lesbian JoJo Siwa Karma parody. "29 videos in 3 years versus here 35 videos in 6 years." So this is the first channel. And then like 3 years ago, he decides to make another channel called Productions.
For Pixie to sue Destiny down below. If you would consider donating to that, I would appreciate it so much. If this lawsuit is successful, maybe this is finally an opportunity for Destiny to be held accountable for his actions. I've also linked accounts for Pixie, Cherry, Lav, and Melina down below and recommend you give them a follow. I think in situations like these, victims can end up being kind of just used as ammo for different people to fling shit at each other, and these victims can end up being collateral damage. So it would be super nice if you could go show them some love after all of the shit that they've had to endure from Destiny and his community. I also want to let you know that I got Pixie and Cherry and Lav's blessing to make this video, and I really hope that I approach things in a way that they will approve of. I know that I did some shit flinging in this video because I really don't like Destiny, but I hope that I approach things with nuance, understanding, and empathy for the victims. Also, in a little over a month, I have a massive 3-hour-long project that I've been working on for the last 6 months or so coming out. I think this is going to be the last traditional commentary video that I make on this channel. If you want to see more like short-form commentary videos, go check out my other channel, which is also linked in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see that massive project that I've been working on. All right, I'll see you then.
Ding! You got it, buddy. That was great. Fantastic. Nuke correction. Uh-oh. In the original version of this video, I accused Anna of stalking Destiny based on allegations he had made against her. After talking to Anna myself, she showed me evidence of Destiny privately admitting to her that the stalking allegations were a lie. Okay. I'd like to apologize for Anna for promoting this allegation of stalking from Destiny as if it was fact. I think this just goes to show another example of the type of manipulation that Destiny and the community have been pushing against its victims. Alright, take full responsibility for making this mistake. It's incredibly important to me that I get all the facts right. I'm deeply sorry to Anna for putting this allegation from Destiny bought anymore. Just after talking with Anna, we are on good terms with each other, and she said she was perfectly happy me leaving this pinned comment and editing the stalking allegation out of the video. Okay. I mean, there's so many good points. He did a really good job of just telling us what he was going to tell us, telling it to us, and then telling us what he told us. Perfectly done. It was a monster of a nuke. I hate Destiny so much more than I could ever hate anyone. He's the worst. Make him stop. Make him stop. Alright, we're gonna make me stop by stopping this stream. That's all for today. Goodbye, everybody.